We did the 4, and then we did the 2 cards.
Oh, right,
two.
okay.
And then I also have a picture of phone on it.
Yeah, you're such
Last night I was breathing out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Summer is over, and you still haven't called me back. We're just getting older. Soon enough, it'll be too late to act. Let's do it again. Let's ride on the waves of gold. California sundown. I'll wait for your call, 'cause I wouldn't go on my own. Last night I was screaming out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. And I might keep on dreaming out loud. It's a beautiful life, staying under blue skies. Next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Winter's dawning, and I can't seem to adapt. And somebody told me that you felt the same way since we went. Why won't you give me a call? We'll ride on those waves again. California sun. And I can wait through a storm, 'cause without you it wouldn't be the same. Last night I was dreaming out loud. California sun was making my eyes dry. Can we still make it happen? It's worth a try. Oh, and I might keep on dreaming out loud. It's a beautiful life, staying under blue skies. And next year in the winter, let's give it a try. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight. Yeah, I'll be dreaming out loud tonight. I'll keep on dreaming out loud tonight.
Welcome to the Brent Daniels Real Estate Live Show. I wanted to open with this because I think it's really important to get our mind in the right place today. And I promise I'm going to get to everything there is to know about pre-foreclosures, foreclosures, bank-owned properties, short sales, everything today. We've got an action-packed show. It's going to be absolutely bananas. But listen to this. This one's titled Mindset. All right. There's so much to be said about how we think as individuals, what we think about, how to change our thinking, and what are the best thoughts to keep in our minds. We felt it would be best to start this retreat. By the way, there's a booklet that I got from a retreat with the word mindset. The good news is we all know that if we keep negative, non-productive thoughts in our head, we're not going to see the results we want from this business or from our life. This rather long list of ideas are designed to fill your mind with thought-provoking, powerful, positive ideas. I love that. I circled that back in, I'll tell you the year in a second, to keep you growing and, more importantly, selling a lot of real estate during the last half of 2007. This is from 2007, and I want to read a couple of these because I think I go back to these and I keep these in my library at my house because there's some days where it's just tougher than others. There's some days where we just have a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of negative emotions that run through our head as an entrepreneur, especially in real estate, that we have to destroy and destroy quickly. And the best way to do that is to read something really great or be around really positive, optimistic people, or watch this YouTube channel or whatever it is to really break that cycle of kind of negativity so that we can actually be productive. Listen to this. Let's start by defining what I believe the word mindset means. It's what's going on inside your head regarding everything all the time, which brings us the results we get in life. What's going on inside your head most of the time? What's going on inside your head most of the time? Is it good, bad, helpful, or harmful? Productive or non-productive? 75% of the time has to be on productive thoughts. All right. And they asked a question here, and I want to ask you guys, have you had any negative thoughts this year in 2024? The answer is, of course, right? But in talking about mindset, there are certain facts we have to accept if we're going to get control of our mind and our future. They are, and I'm going to go through these and then I'll hop onto the board and then we'll get into foreclosures. But there are a lot of days, this is beautiful. This is so true. There are a lot of days when I'm negative about this business, or I simply do not feel like doing anything. This goes on inside all of our heads, not just mine. This is important to remember. There will be days when I spend my entire time in the act of failing. This is part of life and business, and it's okay. There are going to be a lot of days when I am not going to succeed no matter how hard I try. Building a successful real estate business and mindset takes a lot longer than I think it will take, and more importantly, a lot longer than what I have been told. Guys, put in the chat if this is hitting anything in your brain centers, anything in the comments, anything just, you're thinking about what's going on. You're thinking about the past week, the past month, the past 6 months, and really building that strong mindset. The number one thing to build a really strong mindset is skills. People that are skillful and confident in their skills have a really strong mindset. And that brings me to something that I learned from Tom Kroll, and that is the 3 Ds. And he talks about it in his incredible book. I'll go get it in a second. The 3 Ds: doubt, disappointment, and distraction. We have to really watch this. The doubt that we have in ourselves that we can do this business, the disappointment that happens when something doesn't go exactly as planned, the distraction that happens because we want to stay in education mode. We don't want to go out there and really take all the action that we need to on a daily basis. And also the 3 Ps: paralysis by analysis, perfectionism, and procrastination. Right? We got to really watch these every single day. You can be going and speaking to every single pre-foreclosure in your marketplace, but if you let these 6, the 3 Ds and the 3 Ps creep into your life, it's going to be really difficult to convert those opportunities. All right? And that leads me to Mia, Punf, and Su, right? Mia, massive imperfect action. This is what destroys these, by the way. This is what builds the skills. This is what creates that strong mindset. Massive imperfect action. The mindset of progress, not perfection. All right. Every single day we're getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and then this has been the motto of Wholesale Hotline, of something that I've really learned from Pace and Jamil for years and years and years. And it was something that I knew innate, but it really wasn't defined. And that is squad up. We are now in the social age. Everything's out there. all the information, all the instruction, all the connections. It's up to you to connect with the people that are a few steps ahead of you, and they're going to help pull you along so that you can go faster in this business and get to that success that you're looking for faster. Got it? Awesome. Guys, incredible show today. We've got people on the show that have done thousands, and I'm not exaggerating here. I know a lot of people exaggerate, thousands of transactions with people in foreclosure. It's gonna be absolutely incredible. We got Nicole Espinoza. We've got Rafael Cortez. He's going to give us all the scripts, everything that we need so that we know what to say, so that we can really break through that force field with the people that are in the foreclosure process. And then Matthew Potter, who is, I mean, these guys have worked with banks. They have worked with short sales. They've worked with people in pre-foreclosure. Thousands. Strap in. This could be a 2-day masterclass. It certainly could, but we're going to condense it all down and give you just the meat and potatoes. So let's jump right in to the 4 stages of foreclosure. Okay? Here's your 4 stages of foreclosure. And then I'm going to jump in and I'm going to educate you on what's going on from a federal level when it comes to foreclosure protection for the homeowners that are in foreclosure, okay? But these are the 4 steps right here. The 4 stages of foreclosure are, number 1, they start missing payments. All right, you're missing payments, and then the bank has to get a hold of you and try to see if they can do a loan modification. They got to see if there's some way that you can avoid this foreclosure. They have to legally. I'm going to show you the exact laws here in just a second, but they miss the payments. That's the start of this thing. And then once you miss enough payments, and typically this is minimum, by the way, this used to be 90 days, but I just read and was educated last night. This is 120 days that they can miss payments, actively try to get a hold of that property owner before they can give notice of foreclosure. All right. Now, this notice of foreclosure says, listen, if you're in a non-judicial state, don't worry about all the technicalities. You can Google all this later. But if you're in a non-judicial state, you're going to get a notice of default. If you're in a judicial state, you're going to actually be served. The homeowner, not you, obviously. The homeowner is actually going to be served with a suit that says, "Hey, listen, we're gonna foreclose on this in the courts." And so that usually happens, and that gives them typically another 90 to 120 days. Okay. So look at this. We're talking 6 months between these that people can just not make payments, and they're having communication with the bank, and they're trying to do a loan modification. They're trying to see what's going on. And I'll explain a loan modification in just a second. But then if the loan modification doesn't go through, or more likely, the property owner doesn't fill out the appropriate paperwork, because people hate paperwork, then they'll send it to the auction, and then it'll be either sold to an investor like you or I, or it'll go back to the actual bank that was foreclosing. And when it goes back and owned by the bank, that's what's called a REO, real estate owned. All right, this is when the bank takes it, they take ownership of it, and then they'll either sell it on the market or package it and sell it to a hedge fund. Now, loan modifications, 90% of the people, listen to this, 90% of the people that miss their payments get a loan modification. 90%. A loan modification is this: they have a payment of $2,000 a month. They lose their job. They have more bills. They get served with a lawsuit. They have the IRS taxes that they owe. They have all these other things that are going on. They're injured. They get sick, whatever it is. They can't make the payment, but the bank will go and say, "Hey, listen, you can't make the payment of $2,000. And by the way, you owe us $100,000 on the loan." That doesn't equate, obviously, 1,000. Well, if interest rates get high enough, a $100,000 loan will be 2,000. But just play with me for a second here. So they'll say, "Well, I can only afford $1,000 a month." And the bank goes, "Okay, that's fine. We'll get $1,000 a month from you for the next 36 months. But what you're not paying, the $1,000 a month times 36 months is $36,000. The $36,000 that you're not paying us is actually going to be added to your principal balance. You're not paying anything off on that loan. You're actually owing more in that loan. And typically what they're going to do is, just depending on where they're at, sometimes they'll lock you into the rate that the person had when they were going through foreclosure. But oftentimes they're taking those 3-4% loans and they're getting them to today's interest rate, maybe even higher, because the risk is higher with these people. Now, in the comments section, in the chat, I want you to put in your thoughts on, or your guess on, of the 90% that get this loan modification, how many go into default again? What percentage of these 90% go back into default and are going back into this process right here? I want you to put it into the chat, participate. This is a live show, so I want to know what you guys think, and then I'll let you know what it is after this. Now, take a look at this. Take a look at this. I'm going to show you. Share the screen. I'm going to go window, entire screen. Nope. Yep. Boom. Share. I'm going to go right here. Okay. Federal laws that protect homeowners during foreclosure. Guys, this really came about in 2014. You can read it right here. This is nolo.com, NOLO.com. Really great resources. Some of the best resources that I've seen. I think that this is probably an attorney, but because of the foreclosure crisis from 2006 to 2014, the federal government put some regulations in to protect homeowners from being foreclosed on. And basically, if you look at this breakdown, the homeowners here have 120 days. They have 45 days after missing a payment. The servicer must inform the buyer in writing about loss mitigation options. So the banks are going to reach out to these property owners and try to work something out 45 days after they miss a payment. So it happens pretty quick after missing a payment. Now, they have to have 120 days of trying to get a hold of them. That is going to right here. The foreclosing party can't file a lawsuit in the start of a foreclosure until you're more than 120 days delinquent. It's the same for trustee states. Okay, so you got 120 days. That's where that's at. That's really the breakdown there of what's going on how long you have before you actually get the notice. Once it gets the notice, that's when we get notified of this, right? This is those pre-foreclosures that we see are a public filing of this notice of default. And we can pull those. And I'm going to show you how I like to pull these through Deal Machine, because it's a really slick tool for two different strategies. One for wholesale and flips, and one if you want to take over somebody's loan or do a sub-2 or do a wrap or a contract for deed or whatever you want to do, depending on what your strategy is. I can show you two different ways to pull this list so that you can find the best pre-foreclosures to go after. But remember, they're already 120 days late. 120 days late by the time that they hit this. And by the way, they only hit this primarily because they don't fill out the paperwork. Isn't that wild? Isn't that absolutely incredible? Think about the mentality of that property owner, that they're literally going to lose their property in about 6 months, and they're not even communicating with the bank to be able to do a loss mitigation. Now, what it is saying on this website is that of the people that go into the pre-foreclosure, most of them are going to do the loan modification. And they also say foreclosures from a standpoint of like bidding at the foreclosure auction, for them to go all the way down. Follow me here. To go all the way down for missed payments notice and to get to the auction here, right? For it to get all the way here, they just have to have their head in the sand. I mean, they have to have their head in the sand and not communicate and not do anything with the banks to help them out of this situation. Kind of wild. Absolutely wild. But also to get to this point, they haven't typically, there's going to be more equity in these properties because the appreciation has gone up. And so a lot of people are just going to sell these properties either to us or on the market. That's why a lot of them don't really get to the auction. They don't really get here, one, because of the paperwork, two, because they have equity, and they sell them. They sell them on the market or they sell it to us for cash. Okay? So really interesting to understand that process. Remember, when you're going and speaking with pre-foreclosure properties, they haven't made a payment in a while. There's going to be a lot of fees. There's going to be a lot of late penalties. Their credit's already getting destroyed by those missed payments, and it gets really destroyed if they actually foreclose in the property. That foreclosure stays on your credit for 7 years. Trust me. How do I know? I foreclosed on 5 properties in 2009 and 10. Okay, right? I couldn't even buy a property until I cleared all of that up, and I had to restart 7 years later. I had to restart in essentially 2018. I lost so much of my prime years of buying good rental properties, of buying an actual house that I could get appreciation from. You are saving these people this heartache of not being able to actually build wealth by owning their own home again for 7 years. This is one of the most rewarding lists that you can go after. I am telling you, when you fix the problems of somebody that's in pre-foreclosure, it is one of the greatest feelings you'll ever feel. People will send you Christmas cards forever. Forever. I still get Christmas cards. It's crazy. All right. So let's go. Let's get into the nitty gritty. I want to get back into how to actually pull these lists. Okay. Oh, where'd it go? Did you do that, Matt? Okay, there we go. So guys, here we go. Deal Machine. If you guys aren't using Deal Machine and you're serious about this business, you're making a huge mistake. I'm just telling you, you get free skip tracing. That's really, really, really quality. You got AI built into this thing. It's got a dialer built into this thing, and it's got an app that you drive around, find properties that are in rough shape. You click a button, and now you've got a list of all the worst properties that are the most likely to sell at a discount. Not only that, but it gives you all of these lists. So let's break down how to pull some of these lists that I like looking at here. For pre-foreclosures for the 2 different types, right? If you want to do something more creative finance, or if you want to do something, if you want to go after the big wholesale or flip deals. All right. So first thing first, I just pulled Phoenix. You can see down here at the bottom, there's 710 properties that are pulling up. What I did is I just did single family, townhouse, and condos. Okay, I find that those are typically the best. You could do some mobile homes. Let's add some mobile homes in there. We're making a fortune on mobile homes right now. But for the most part, you're not going to put land. I typically don't do multifamily, but you could do that as well. It just depends on what you're going after. And so I've got those 4 properties. All right, now look at this. I go to more here, and I typed in interest rates that are less than 5%. Why would you want to target properties that have interest rates that are less than 5%? Well, if you're taking over that loan or wrapping it, contract for deed, sub 2, whatever you want to do, you want to make sure that that it's got a really solid interest rate so you can literally hone in on all of the properties that have the best interest rates. I mean, you could do that at 4%. You could do it at 3%. See what's going on. Let's adjust this interest rate. So the nice thing about Deal Machine is anything that you're searching for, they got this great search bar. So if I want interest rate on a first mortgage equal to less than, and I put in 3%, confirm, it's going to load up here. I don't know how many of these have less than 3% interest rates. 267 properties within driving distance from my house have less than 3% interest rates. They haven't made a payment in over 4 months. They haven't made a payment in over 4 months. How incredible is that? You're talking about you want to go add some sub twos or whatever to your portfolio. We got some motivation. We got a great interest rate. Let's rock and roll. That's incredible. But I'll show you the ones that I go after. All right, I'm going to clear all here. Really clear, yes. I'm going to go back into Phoenix here. I'm going to do my property type again. I'm going to do single family, townhouse, condo, mobile. There we go. I've got all these. All right, it's updating. Updating. Takes a little bit of time. Oh, quick filters here. We're going to go the pre-foreclosures. Pre-foreclosures. There we are. So we've got the pre-foreclosures and it's updating all right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to more in Deal Machine. This is a must-have tool, guys. I'm just telling you. And then I'm going to go to year built. Okay. I'm going to go, it is, I'm going to go less than 1994. Confirm. I want old houses. I love old houses. When Ryan and Joshua, my acquisition managers, see that it is a house built in the 60s, the 70s, the 50s. Arizona hasn't been around that long. Let's be honest, right? We weren't a state until 1912. So, and they didn't have air conditioning until the 1950s. So you see a big explosion in Phoenix in the 50s. And you've got all these properties that are now getting older and they got some wear and tear on them, right? So you've got the year built, which is awesome. It'll update here in a second once it gets going. And then what I want to do is, why does it only have one? I don't know. I'll see if it might take a second to update. Less than 1994. And I want to go in here and I want to go that they purchase date. Is it purchase date? Let me just put date in as a filter. Last sale date is before. Let's just go. I'm going to go that they bought it in 6 years ago, 7, 8 years ago at least. I'll just put May, whatever. Confirm. Boom. And then it's going to load it up. And that is the list that I'm going after. I'm going after properties that are old. I'm going after properties that have been owned for a while. Why? Why would I go for properties that have been owned for at least 7, 8 years? Because they have equity. Unless they did a home equity line, they have equity, right? And if they have equity and motivation, those are the two most important factors when it comes to finding a really good discounted property. Right. And so I'm going to go after those ones and I'm going to find them and I'm going to, I don't know why it's not displaying, but it usually displays. I'll have to reload map. Maybe I had to reload the map. Anyway, I'm looking for I'm looking for older properties that have been owned for a while so that they have some equity. Some people put equity percentage, but I just don't prefer doing that. So those are the two lists that I would target. You can go after all of them. You can certainly go after the whole list. It's not a huge amount. If you look at the percentage, the amount of total pre-foreclosures and divide that by 143 million residential properties in the United States, it's a fraction of a fraction. But it's still like some 300,000, 400,000 pre-foreclosures are available. And those are the people that have not filled out the loss mitigation. They have not tried to do a loan modification. These are people that probably, maybe it's their second time through. Speaking of, let's take a look at the comments here. How many go back into pre-foreclosure? 30 to 50%. 30 to 50% go back into, based on the market, 30 to 50% go back into foreclosure. There you go. Isn't that awesome? Not awesome for them, but it is an opportunity, right? I mean, obviously, listen, if they can do a loan modification, stay in their house, that is the best situation for all of those property owners. Sorry, I was reading some comments about my arms looking smaller. What? Yeah, of course. I lost like 30 pounds. Anyway, 30 to 50% go back. But if people can stay in their house, they can work out a loan modification. That's the best scenario. That's the absolute best scenario. But if they can't and they need to sell that property, we need to be an option for them. We need to get really loud about the opportunity that we can provide them to avoid the foreclosure, keep that black mark off of their credit for 7 years, inability to buy and build equity and build wealth for 7 years. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you know this, but from somebody that had like a 400 credit score, it affects everything. It affects your insurance. It affects your ability to get bank accounts. It affects your ability to obviously get any kind of financing for any cars or anything else. I mean, it's a huge. It affects your job potential if you're going for a W-2. They're looking at your credit to see what kind of person you are. In a sense, it's a background check in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of employees that look at that and say, this person obviously is not responsible with finances. I'm not going to put them in a role that puts them responsible for much in my company, right? So this really helps their whole life. If you can help somebody, yes, they miss their payments. Yes, it dings their credit, but they can get that removed after a little while and go on with life as normal. All right. Awesome. You guys are incredible. You know what time it is. It is time for the coach of the coaches, the number one in the world when it comes to bringing heart and soul into being an entrepreneur. You're learning, take notes. Like, don't just sit there passively. Watch this again and again and again, because everything that this man says is, as he would say, pure liquid gold. Tom Kroll, how are you, bud?
Bam! How are you, brother?
Bam! Hold on.
Oh, beautiful. I don't have my victory bell at the cabin. We're still here.
That's awesome. Where's your cabin at, Tom?
Blue Ridge, Georgia. Yeah, right in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's
how much time do you spend there?
As much as possible. We sneak up now every time the kids are off, and you're more than welcome to use it. All of my clients use it. The guest book is this thick, and it's literally a who's who of entrepreneurs, because all of my clients use it. We love it. It's a great adventure. And Brent, I was just listening to you. This brings me back, right? I love it. I'll tell you, I could share some of when I was doing this. You want to know where I found a lot of houses? Can I share that?
Luke, can you give me a pen? Yeah. I want to take some notes. I don't know where my pen is.
I'll give you some. First of all, by the way, you look great.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You look.
Thank you.
I'm right behind you. I'm right there. It's my next.
You're right there.
It's my next great adventure. First of all, this is everyone in town, right? Everyone in town. Can I tell you guys, right? When I did this, I remember when I was getting mentored by Todd, right? Todd Toback. And I was like, nobody's got to want to, there's so many houses in San Diego and there's none in Port St. Lucie. And there's so much money out there. And over here, they're, and all this other garbage. But number one, I had courage, right? Every single person I met, hey, I was at the grocery store at Publix. I just moved here. I've been here recently. I'm looking to buy a house. You know anybody? I know this sounds silly, but it's like a shift in your mind where you're like, hey, I'm a cash buyer of homes. Who is selling their home? But it's got to be a good deal. Do you know anybody like that? Is it you? Do you know somebody like that? Can you give me a number right now? Can we call them? Could you make an introduction? I remember going to, there was a whole bunch of Century 21 agents sitting at a Panera Bread when I first got started. I went and talked to them. So here's the deal. Money loves awkward conversations. Money loves courage. You know what money
Yep.
runs away from? People pleasing, people who care too much what other people think about them, right? Trying to be polite and courteous and always embarrassed and being a people pleaser. Guys, I have news for you. If you're a people pleaser, you are a liar. You're a liar if you're a people pleaser. That's what people pleasers are. They lie all day and they get comfortable in this wet blanket. So get uncomfortable. Every single conversation you have should be singularly focused. Your life is so simple, right? Focus more on fewer things. So number one, everyone in town should know that you are a buyer of homes. You're a cash buyer, whatever it is, right? You're a real estate investor, whatever the title is, but everyone in town should know that. Number two is I noticed a lot of people whose homes we were buying, their water was turned off. So I went and I said, well, who has the water turnoff list? Who has this list? And nobody had it, right? I called Lance and Terry at US Lead List. They didn't have it. Now it's owned by Micah, right? Nobody had this list. So I went down to the county, township, municipality, city, whatever it was, and I found the guy who actually turns off the list. I offered him money and this, and I said, I want a list of who are you turning the water off for? And I finally got the list. And that was a brilliant list, right? Tiny but mighty. It's a small list, but it's a sharpshooter approach. When their water's getting turned off, they're super motivated. The other thing I noticed was all of these guys I was buying home from, it's like a third of them were currently having, or had just had a garage sale. So the Craigslist, right? We made a list. If you're having a garage sale, I want the skip trace, the owner. If it's an out of town, I want to send it, because just about the time I was using mail at that time, just about the time my mail piece was hitting, the tenant who was 4 months behind was selling all the appliances in a garage sale, and I was buying the house. I remember the first one I ever did. It was a guy in Connecticut. He owned a company called Mystic Pizza, and it was on the first mailing I did. And he said, "This tenant, da 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 da."
I think Mystic Pizza was a movie, wasn't it, with Julia Roberts?
I think it was, yeah. And he was in Mystic, Connecticut. He had a pizza place, and he had a home down here, and he was selling it. And I remember, like, this is a gold list. I remember where I was when I found that list, because it was myself and another wholesaler in town were having lunch, and I'm always having lunch on this is why I still need to catch up to you. But that was one of the great lists that we had. I liked the small list, and then I liked what list I really liked? I remember I had an account at List Source, and you could use whatever, but the unknown equity list.
Yep.
Beautiful list. I don't know if you guys still, I haven't done this now, but I will tell you that was what I really found out was I got to a point where I was essentially mailing everyone in town at some point, right? Everybody had a mail piece. And then of course the money, is in the database, right? That goes without saying. So, it was, that was a great adventure, brother. But following that guy around in a truck, it takes, you have to have as much faith in yourself as a kidnapper has in you, because you know who knows your potential more than your mama is a kidnapper. He knows how much potential you have to produce a mountain of revenue in a very small amount of time. And when you get that kind of pit bull tenacity, that rhino where you're just charging at one thing, you're unstoppable. Mm-hmm. It's just consistently deal after deal after deal after deal. With me, it was with 1.5 people, me, Dan, and Lorena. That was it. That was the whole crew, and it was awesome. A mountain of revenue. I love it.
Do you ever get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations?
I think there's a great book, actually, Cody Hoffine recommended it to me a long time ago, and it was called Critical Conversations, which was kind of, it kind of put like a little bit of a capstone, or put some methodology around it. But I think, what it really is, Brent? It's about being a truth teller and a truth seeker.
There it is.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's just you just knock off all the games. And this is generational wealth. When people talk about generational wealth, where it's generation after generation after generation of capable people who have good, consistent results to be earners, to make money, to keep money, to have their money working for them, they practice what I call brutal honesty. Right? It's just that you just stop playing the games. You stop caring whatever. You stop navigating this world in weakness, and you start doing it in strength by just being direct. And if you are struggling with this, what you're probably doing, because this is something I struggled with, is you're making a lot of assumptions about what people are going to say or think if you say something.
Yep.
Let me give
It's
you
hallucinations, Tom. You'll hallucinate. You go through the whole conversation in your head. You know, I can't tell you how many people I've gotten into fights with in the shower just by myself, just like, you know what I mean? Like, oh,
Right.
they're probably going to say this, or they're going to say that, or if they say this, I'm going to say that. And then you have a conversation, it goes nothing like that.
And that's a showstopper. I think that's exactly right. You want to stop. If you have any worry about if I say this, the seller's not going to want to sell to me, that's where you should start. Start with, hey, you know, I'm not going to pay full price, right? You know, I'm looking for a good deal, right? So when you start to operate, it's just a 1% shift, but you should write it above your desk. If you're listening to this, right? Put it above your desk. Brutal honesty, be a truth teller and a truth seeker, and don't try to live in the moment, right? There's a great book that Robert Kiyosaki recommended to me. It's called The Surrender Experience by Michael Singer. Mickey
That's
Singer.
a tough read. I'll be honest. That's a tough read.
It's
right?
a tough read. Yeah.
You have to go through it slow and several times, but it is phenomenal. Yep.
100%. But the book is phenomenal. He's got a beautiful facility out in Gainesville. My son was at UF, so I got to see the facility, spend some time with him. I went to the whole little thing he has. It was great. But he's a rock star. And what you really start to do is when you're operating, it's just a slight shift. But when you do, everything instead of chasing stuff, you're just attracting it. When you are making assumptions about, if I say this to the seller, they're not going to want to sell, you're totally removed from the conversation. You're not present in the conversation. And it's yeah, I mean, that's why when I started, I said, hey, I made a realization early on. Wholesaling has nothing to do with real estate. I remember when I first they were giving me these rehab sheets about countertops and hi-hats and ceiling fans and stucco. And I threw the whole thing out and I said, why are you selling? Why don't you list with an agent? Why don't you just keep it as a rental? Are you sure you want to sell it? I can't pay full price, but I can close immediately. And once you practice brutal honesty, and you don't do this out of a moral thing. It's not about, you know, I'm a good guy. I've got all kinds of problems, right? This is the best business advice. This is your best methodology for getting big deals, fewer deals, bigger deals, more deals, however, whatever your strategy is. You want to know the guys who get, and the girls who get monster deals consistently year after year after year, game-changing deals. Brutal honesty, right in your face honesty the whole time. I don't care what the other person thinks about what I'm about to say. You don't have to try to work so hard to manipulate the conversation. Just go right at it. Charge at one thing. That's the key.
Yeah, but I think I think it's important to understand, because people hear that and it's like, oh, I'm going to be aggressive. It's like, no. You got to bring the kindness to it, but you do have to have that the confidence. You know what I mean? Right. You got to bring kindness with your tone, kindness with your eyes, kindness with your face, kindness with your mannerisms, kindness with all these things. If you go in there and you're just like, I need to get a deal, I need to make $80,000 on this, I do, you know, all this other stuff, you're going to get blown out of the water. But if you understand, and this is something that I really learned from my team, from Ryan and my team, is we never tell people what they should sell their house for. We can only tell them what we're willing to buy it for.
Beautiful.
And that's a different mind shift change that says, listen, I want you to pick whatever offer makes sense to you. I want you to be 100% confident moving forward with whoever you sell your property to. Let me just tell you about what we can offer you and what that looks like and how we can help in this situation. And that's what you're talking about, Tom. Obviously we're fired up. We've got great energy. I think you're getting energy to everybody. I love when you're on here because everybody's like, that guy's the best. I get DMs, I get texts. People send me screenshots of you, Tom. And, but just because we're enthusiastic doesn't mean that you're like blowing these people out and being bombastic when you're being a truth teller, truth seeker. It just means that you're telling them what you can actually buy it at, not what they should sell it at. And that's a big difference.
Yes. And you have confidence, so you don't have to learn the response to every seller objection.
Right.
Because you just know who you are and you walk in, and if it's a no, you're going to get there. This is one that you see with rookies and amateurs. To get to a no takes forever. With somebody like me or you or whoever, if you're a professional, you get to a no like this. That's great. That's great. It's more than just a numbers game. It's a reflection of your confidence for standing in for what you believe in. And if we're not a good fit, that's totally fine. And what you notice about these people who are operating at that level of confidence and conviction, it's that 99% of everyone in this world is concerned with all the noisy, splashy waves. But what you want to do is you want to focus on the undercurrent. We know that if they're calling us, they're in a situation they got to sell, right? Most people own a home, don't want to sell it. Most people who want to sell it don't want to sell it for a low price. So if we're there, something's going on. Be confident and just know, like, I know I'm prophetic. I understand. I'm clairvoyant. I know if I'm in this room with you, and we're sitting at your dining room table or on the phone, I know there's a problem. You could pretend, right? The seller could pretend there's not a problem, but nobody's on the phone with me unless there's a problem. Let me help you solve the problem. If I can't help you solve it, I'll go. There's tons of properties for sale. Don't worry about it. Have a good day. When you have that level of confidence and clarity, and you're a truth teller and a truth seeker, and you're with the undercurrent, and you actually can see what's going on instead of the noisy waves, what happens is the seller goes, okay, now I understand I'm in a bad spot. I'm drowning, and you're on a strong ship, and you can throw me a life raft and bring me on. And that's where you start to just bring everything together, and you just reach this sort of level where you're attracting all the time, and there's no chasing. And it's not about chasing money. That money is just a symptom. It's nothing, right? Money is just a compensation for the activity. It's a focus. It's a holistic focus on what you're actually doing day in and day out. It's beautiful. And it's for all business, not just wholesale, every business. I don't care how many businesses. I'm an owner in multiple businesses. I can tell you they're same exact archetype at the top, same exact understanding of bringing a lot of people, a lot of value consistently without the owner's involvement. That's the key overall.
I love it. And you said it right there. You know, when you get them to take that deep breath and to really trust that you can help them out, you got to remember, and we're talking about pre-foreclosures on today's show, people that can't afford to make their house payment, it affects their entire life. And they're trying to put on a brave face. They're trying to put on a confident face. They see you as, wait, are you the enemy? Am I negotiating against you? What is the best course of action here? Do I want to sell my house? Can I stay in my house? Do I have to move everything? Do I have to move my kids out of the school district? All of these things are going through their head, all of these things. So when you get them to just, because you're being honest and you're not trying to be slick and you're trying to understand what's going on. And 80% of the conversation is you listening and understanding what's happening inside their brain. That's when they feel heard. That's when they feel like you can actually help them. And that is a skill that needs to be developed if you're going to buy and help out people in pre-foreclosures. And so you're spot on, Tom.
Yeah. And it's easier. It's like the crust comes off your eyes, and instead of struggling like on a hamster wheel, every single day is a struggle and a hustle, and it's hard and stiff, and you're like, you're moving, but you're not going anywhere. All of that stops instantly the minute that you have this realization. Tony Robbins teaches us that a decision is made in an instant. Yep. Michael Gerber teaches us that your product is your business. Start looking at your business as the value that it provides to the seller. Once you stop this low level game of just chasing cash and like all the stuff that you're trying. When you as the owner put your shoulders down and you allow the seller to put their shoulders down and relax and a sigh of relief and say, okay, now this is much easier and I could do much bigger deals, much more frequently at higher volume. And it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean,
do you remember, and I know this might be a painful moment, but do you remember you got fired from the landscaping deal, right? You go home or you look on your computer or your phone. Do you remember how much was in your checking account? You know what I mean? Do you remember like kind of where that was at when you started out in this business? Just to give people some perspective of the guy that's standing in this beautiful cabin, this guy that went and was brave. I mean, you started back in 2012, right? Really getting into wholesaling and really finding this in Port St. Lucie and building this up and listening to Todd. How much was in your account?
Well,
When-
I could tell you, I got fired, and we were really struggling. We were really struggling, Julie and I. And I was looking for. I could tell you a moment that I will not forget is I came home and. Julie was in the bathroom with the door locked, and she was crying in the bathroom. This is a true story, 100% true. And I'm like, sweetie, what's the matter? And we had bought our house from a friend of ours, right?
Yeah.
And she was embarrassed because she wanted to write a check to cover the mortgage payment. He had held a mortgage for us. This is before I knew anything
This is
about
owner occupied. I mean, owner financing.
on a financing deal.
Yeah.
And we wanted to send it in, but if we would have done that payment, we had just enough for the payment. We wouldn't have had enough for groceries for, Julie was buying groceries every week, and Publix is the grocery store, and she was crying. And it was that moment. I think why so many of us as entrepreneurs, because we're a little different than corporate guys, right?
Yep.
Corporate guys are different cats, right? But I think entrepreneurs, I think we all have this moment that we can remember that's very real for all of us. It's kind of like, I guess, because it's the real decision of I am going to do this or I'm going to die trying to do this. Like I am going to do it or I'm just going to die trying to do it. And I was so miserable. I hated, I was fired. I was in an awful industry. Nothing was going right. We were beyond broke. I don't even know if there was enough for the mortgage payment. That was about it. We were out of money. And I think we all have this moment because that's when you really do realize that, you're one thing that whether you love or hate Donald Trump, one of the things that he says that I do agree with is the number one predictor of success is your ability to handle pressure. And I think that when I always would say to my clients is that rock bottom is the strongest foundation. And the reason is because it cuts out all that crap.
Yep.
And you just now realize you can handle a lot of pressure. Because if you can handle that, you can go out and you can make a decision and you could get it done and you could get a deal today.
Yeah.
If you just do what Brent is telling you to do. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. This is not rocket science. This is a numbers game. There's 9 rules in marketing, right? The number 1 rule is copy what Brent said. The number 2 rule is volume. It's a numbers game first and foremost. There's no secret here that you can't do a deal immediately. I mean, and then once you make that decision, I always say by the 3rd deal, because the first deal is scary. The second deal is not. The 3rd deal, by the time you do your 3rd deal, I am telling you, you can own multiple businesses.
Yep.
Your business acumen goes up. You're flush with cash. It's you thought money was so important. Now you realize money's not that important. It's really just good and wholesome, and entrepreneurship is true, I think, for all of us that way.
Tom, you're the best. Coachinginc.com. Follow Tom Kroll, Krol, not 2 L's, just 1 L. You can find him, follow him. He's the absolute best. Thanks, Tom. Love you, bud.
Love you, brother. God bless. Be well. See you later. Bye-bye, guys.
Awesome. He brings up an incredible point. The fact is that nobody's there to save you. Nobody's going to pay your bills. Nobody's going to pay your mortgage. Nobody's going to feed your kids. All of these things you need to, this is our opportunity to go out every single day and talk to property owners that have personal problems with their property, whether it be the condition of the property is a problem, whether they have financial problems, whether they have an emotional problem with those properties. There is some reason that we can provide value. Those are the people that we need to talk to on a daily basis. TTP, talk to people. Every single day we need to be talking to a minimum of 5 new property owners a day. And if you really want to explode it, talk to 30 property owners a day. When you are doing outbound marketing, you build your business up to the point where you have enough cash to put into marketing to when people reach out to you when they want to sell that property. Absolutely incredible. incredible. Let me give you some a few. We're going to get to some questions. We're going to do a giveaway. We got Nicole Espinoza here at the top of the hour in just a bit. We've got an incredible show. We keep rolling with it. Rafael Cortez in about 40 minutes is going to give us all the scripts. I'm going to put a Google Drive in the chat when he comes on, so that you can get all the scripts that you need to be able to have an effective conversation with a person, a property owner that is in pre-foreclosure. All right. So stick around for that. Let me present here, get you the tools that we are using right now in our business. I already mentioned that we are using Deal Machine. Deal Machine is absolutely bananas. The cost versus value of this thing is silly. They give you all the trials. They give you a bunch of free skip tracing if you use that coupon code TTP. We are a proud affiliate of that company. Good friends. We've seen them grow up since 2018. It's been absolutely incredible. If you don't have the budget for this big, robust tool here, Jerry's done a great job with propwire.com. Propwire.com. You can pull a lot of the information. You're not going to get the free skip tracing. You're not going to get the dialer. You're not going to get the AI built into it. You're not going to get all the support that they do all the time in regards to the training that Deal Machine has for people that are starting out and building their business. But it's absolutely a phenomenal tool if you're just starting out with a lower budget. Next, guys, this is the #1 list that has been working for the Rhino Tribe. That's the group of incredible wholesalers around the country that I have the fortune to work with and coach them. And U.S. lead list is bananas. These are the lists of people that have passed away that own real estate. This is before they go to the courts for a probate situation. It's absolutely phenomenal. There's limited amount of licenses per market, so definitely check that out. Next is, if you are ready and you do have a budget of at least $2,000 a month to spend in marketing, and you want that to be inbound marketing, people that already want to sell their properties, you don't have the time or the schedule to be able to make a lot of calls, to be super proactive, to go and knock doors, to send out some text messages, that's fine. Go to ttpleads.com. That's our portal for property leads. And you get a $200 credit for that. But I would say minimum, guys, have $2,000 to spend on that because the leads are about anywhere from $100 to $200. And typically it's going to be 1 out of 15 or 20 of those leads to close a deal. So do the math there. Are you going to close it every month that you have $2,000? Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how much, what the cost of those leads are. But if they're bad leads, if there's bad numbers, if you can't get a hold of them and you've tried a bunch, they actually give you a credit back for other leads. So it's actually a really, really, really cool service. And then top of the pyramid when it comes to leads is leads from Google searches, people with the intent of selling their property fast. And we have the absolute best of the best working for us here at talktopeople.com when it comes to building out your pay-per-click budget. If you're in a small market, you need at least $5,000 a month. If you're in a major market, you need $7,500 a month to really make it effective. I mean, I would tell you lower to get more people into it, but it just wouldn't work. And there's no sense in that. I want you to win. So talktopeople.com. So there you go. By the way, guys, you can pull all of the pre-foreclosures that we're talking about on PropWire, on Deal Machine. Absolutely. And get all those lists that you need there. There's a ton of other resources. You could talk to your title companies or closing attorneys. You can get pre-foreclosure lists from them for free. They'll just email it to you because they want the business and they pay for nationwide. So that's another opportunity for you to get those lists. So there you go. Awesome. We will close out of this. Boom. The thing goes like, phew. Yeah. Yeah, Medina. I already addressed that 100. All right. We're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to be throwing some darts at some balloons. And we got a tiny balloon up there. Oh, no. Where'd the tiny one go? Oh, you've replaced it. Oh, well. So here we go, guys. We have got, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Let's go full screen so you can see the really cool background that we have today. Thank you, Matt Hill, for doing that. Top row is going to be, I'm going to send you my friend Henry Washington's incredible book, Real Estate Deal Maker. I'm going to put it in one of these old school trapper keepers. Look at this. It traps and it keeps. And I'm going to give you the TTP lead follow-up master lead sheet. This is what you fill out as you're talking to property owners so you can stay really organized. It's a whole pad that has, the same thing over and over and over so that you can take really, really, really good notes. So you're not typing. You know what I mean? It always sounds weird when people are like typing on their computer the notes when you're talking on the phone. It feels like, a violation of privacy. So today's is going to be this cool pink and yellow and there we go. What is it? Synth wave. That's what it's called. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. You learned something. Middle row is going to be the hoodie, the Rhino hoodie, and we're going to do a Rhino t-shirt for the bottom row. So who wants what? Who wants what? By the way, Alejandra is in the chat. She is back from vacation, seeing her family in Minnesota. And so she's going to be selecting somebody for these giveaways here that is in the chat. And hopefully you've subscribed. By the way, if you're getting value out of this, make sure that you subscribe and like these videos. We put out videos. We go live twice a week. Incredible show on Mondays, Wholesale Hotline with Jerry Norton, Jamil Damji, and Pace Morby. We go for an hour and a half every Monday, rain or shine. We're there. It's awesome. We also put out incredible podcast interviews, and we go live every Wednesday. So it's our chance to work with each other, participate in each other's business. So here we go. What do people want, Handra? Trapper keeper. I'm going deep. By the way, just so you guys know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paces. What is that? 24 feet? 24 feet, baby. Let's see if I can get it in one throw, top shelf. Oh! Maybe my arms are small. There it is. That didn't even have a thing. So we're giving somebody the hoodie. Thank you guys for participating in the show. You're absolutely incredible. I love you. Everybody can do this business. Everybody can do this business. Tom Kroll mentioned that that a kidnapper believes in you more than you. He used to say that imagine somebody steals your dog or your child or whatever, your best friend, somebody that you love, your parents, and they said, you need to get a deal in 1 week or you'll never see them again. Could you find a deal? The answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes, right? So why don't we have that level of motivation? Why do we need that kind of negativity to be able to spur us on? We don't need to be at rock bottom. We don't need to lose everything. We don't need to, I mean, we could just take massive imperfect action right now, stay super focused. You know what's interesting? I've been waking up before my alarm clock this week. I have, Luke. I have. It's just, there's certain times, and this happened when I was super broke. I was just like up. I was up and going and just focused and just like locked in, and then you do well, and then it kind of fades a little bit, and something's just, I'm back in that zone, bro. I'm waking up with just good, just nasty good intentions. It's just, it's phenomenal. I don't know if anybody put in the chat if you guys have ever experienced that, where you just wake up and you're just on fire. Your hair's on fire. You just got so many thoughts, and so you're just so excited about things. And so I don't know what it is. We're spending a lot more in marketing and getting a lot more deals in my wholesale business. We're starting to crank that up more. I mean, we've got an incredible business, but we're cranking it up more. People are getting unbelievable results from the pay-per-click at talktopeople.com. That's been really firing me up. The people in the Rhino tribe, Luke, dude, we've been more people have been posting success and sending me texts and than ever before. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's just, people are on fire right now, dude. People are on fire. Speaking on about being on fire, is Nicole here? Hold on. Let me give an intro here. Nicole Espinoza is without a doubt, the premier top shelf when it comes to understanding foreclosures, understanding short sales, understanding real estate transactions, understanding being an incredible entrepreneur. She literally wrote the book, Short Sales Uncensored, from 2018. So a while ago, when she had only done 400, but now she's done like thousands. So guys, give some love to the Texan, Nicole Espinoza. Nicole, how are you?
Good. How are you? Love the intro.
I am pumped. I'm pumped to have you on here. So we are talking about going after pre-foreclosures and having conversations with them and solving that the riddle that is foreclosure. So
Yeah.
when did you start with it? And then give us some instruction on how the best to approach, have those conversations, and then, short sale, cash offer, all those type of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I approach pre-foreclosures completely different. And I know that investors, when we're coming into this, the idea is, oh, they're motivated and here's my cash offer. And this is why most people fail. And I heard a little bit of what you were talking about, Tom. Absolutely love him. He's one of my mentors too. Phenomenal human being, just like this big teddy bear, just like love him so much.
He's the best.
And I love his perspective, right? Because it's all about how can we be a human being talking to another human being? And most people miss the boat completely. They're so focused on 100 dials and getting that one contact. And I'm like, hey, why would you spend that much time and effort? Why wouldn't you want to get the 80 to 90%, right? Because the reality is the type of person you're working with, they're delusional. So we have to accept that. We have to accept that this person, because their emotions are high, their intelligence is low, right? Zero. Does anybody here make good decisions when they're overwhelmed and they're shut down?
Nope.
Of course not.
It's not how our brains work.
So why are you approaching this person logically and saying, hey, sell me your house to avoid foreclosure? Because the first thing they're going to tell you is my house is not for sale.
Yep.
Right? Biggest objection. I'm keeping my house. I'm working with the bank. Well, the reality is that they truly believe that because they had one conversation with the lender that they're taken care of. They think, okay, well, the bank's going to look out for me. And the reality is the bank, they're financial institutions, right? Like they're just going through the motions because they know that this person is in default. So if we can understand, before we talk about anything else, if we can understand that someone in foreclosure is delusional and that they're not thinking logically, then that's the way all of our marketing needs to reflect. That's how we approach these sellers, because most of you are not even getting the opportunity to actually connect because they've already turn themselves off to you because they're like, you're a real estate investor. You're trying to take advantage of me. And by the way, my house is not even for sale. Right. The people that you are connecting with, that 1%, whatever, they're the people that have already gone through it. And they're like, okay, what's your offer? Right. But I don't know about you. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. And I want to help as many people as possible. So when I got into this, ignorant, had no idea. I just knew I needed to get these deals and these opportunities. I didn't have the context of this is the script, right? Like back before YouTube University and everyone willing to give so much value, we had to learn the hard way. When I got into the industry in 2009, I went on my own 2011, 2012, making these cold calls, and I was clueless. I was in my 20s and I just knew that I needed to make money. Yep. And because I didn't know anything, what did I do? I asked questions. Right. So then I realized, 10 years into it, now 14, it's because I got down to the heart of the context of what's going on. And a lot of you here, because I see it on my YouTube, I see it on your channel, all the things like, give me the script, like, just tell me what to say. And I'm like, you're approaching it all wrong. And so what I teach is like, hey, if you can ask the right questions to get the context of what's happening, you'll be able to come with the best strategy and be able to help that person. But by you trying to approach that homeowner with already, I'm going to wholesale it, I'm going to invest or whatever, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So the context of how much time do they actually have, right? When is their sale date? The context of what have they already tried, right? What if they've already worked with an investor? Now you're saying the same thing the other investor did, and you don't even get to overcome those objections because you're just doing the same thing you always do. Right.
Mhm.
So the questions you ask are going to be everything. And I know you know that because we talk the same language. How can you be a solution provider and provide solutions for whatever's going on? Right. So I went on a rant and I forgot your question, but I think I
No,
answered it.
I mean, Nicole, so I love it. And you're totally right. I mean, there is delusion in, you know what? Oh, I'm going to be making it up. I'm already talking to the bank. We're going to do a loan modification. I'm talking to the loss mitigation, all of
Right.
that. Right. But then we see that there's a large percentage of those people that go through, not a large, but 30 to 50%, depending on where you're getting your data, they go back into default.
Yep.
Right. And so, what questions do you ask so that they do feel comfortable, so that you do sound different? You know what I mean, Nicole?
100%. So what I have found when you're cold calling, there's 3 phases. Okay. The first phase, and this is where everybody gets stuck. Okay. So the first phase is, how do I get past the first 5 to 10 seconds?
Yep.
And that's truly a lot of people, the hardest part for a lot of people, because they want to qualify themselves. And so here's like a mind-blowing thing that everyone needs to hear, right? If they don't hear anything else, they need to hear this one thing. The person actually doesn't care about you.
What?
The person does not care that you've done a million transactions. The person does not care if you're qualified. The only thing this person cares about is their problem.
Right.
So if you put the focus on you as the investor or realtor, whoever you are in the transaction, and you make it about you, that person is now like interviewing you, right? Who are you with? Like, why are you calling me? What are you doing? How much do you charge? Blah, blah, blah. Now you don't even get a chance to present whatever you're trying to present or ask questions because they're driving the bus, not you.
Right.
So in the very beginning, stop introducing yourself. Stop saying you're Nicole Espinosa with, ABC Realty or whatever it is, investor, whatever. Literally just start the conversation as if you're talking to a friend. Like, hey, Brent, hey, listen, really quick. I'm calling about 123 Main, and I wanted to make sure that you got the foreclosure taken care of.
Yep.
So simple. Right?
Yeah, we talked about it last week, Nicole, using their first name, not Mr. Anderson, not sir, ma'am, none of that. Sound like you've talked to them before. Sound like a friend or a neighbor or somebody that they've heard from before, for sure.
Yeah. And the way that I teach, even like within my community and my people, is like, hey, how would you treat someone? This is the best analogy when I think about foreclosures. This person's house is on fire. Okay. Their house is on fire. You have the water. This person does not want to open the door because they don't know you. So how would you approach someone that you see visibly their house is on fire? You wouldn't say, hi, sir. So I just wanted to let you know that, is it okay? No, you would have a sense of urgency.
Yep.
You care, right? Because you see that they need help. And your approach would be, hey, listen, you're banging on the door. Listen, hey, listen, your house is on fire. I've got water. Do you need the water?
Awesome.
Right? So
awesome.
That's how you should be approaching these people, because here's the reality. And you know this, Brent, the majority of the people you talk to that don't, if they say no, they end up going into foreclosure.
Yeah.
Right. I get this all the time. Oh, I followed up on these leads. I thought I had a great conversation, and I noticed in the tax rolls, they lost it. They lost the house.
Mm-hmm.
But why do people lose their house if they don't have to? Because no one connected with them. No one was able to meet that person where they're at to actually get them on board so that they could see, hey, I actually don't have it taken care of. I need help.
Yep.
Right. And
I think also, Nicole, in my experience, and you talked about it, in the beginning, there's the delusion, and then that it's almost like they're in quicksand and they're sinking down until the point where they're just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just give it back. Yep. You know what I mean? Like they actually had conversations with that, with property owners all the time. And they're like, I'll just give it back to the bank, whatever. And it's like, they don't understand the impact that it's going to have on their life to have a foreclosure on their record. They don't understand how long that's going to stop them from being able to turn their financial life around. It's really a tough sticking point. So how do we explain, how do we break through? You said that you said that there's 3 steps to the process. So I assume it's built in there. So what's the second? So get past the first 5.
100%. First, get past that first, 5 to 10 seconds where they actually can hear you, right?
Yep.
And then, so once you master that, then you get into the actual heart of the conversation of why they should stay on the phone, right? The building rapport part. Well, in order to build rapport, and the longer you can keep them on the phone, the more that wall is going to come down, right?
Yep.
This is where you get to ask the questions. So we have like this call flow that we teach of like, hey, and get the context first. Ask something as simple as, so what happened? Can you tell me what happened, why you fell behind? And take notes. Shut up. Don't talk. Write down what they're saying. They're going to tell you key things in that conversation, like the fact that they did 2 loan modifications, or what we're seeing on a daily basis right now. Well, I was in the pandemic. The bank said, hey, you don't have to pay. So now I'm in forbearance. And now all of a sudden I have to I owe this money, and now I don't know what to do. Right.
Yep.
So we see that the people that just bought in the last couple of years, or people that have been behind like 10 plus years, there's like no middle ground right now with the foreclosure we're saying. Right. So now, like, okay, if they say that, that is automatically going to give you the ability to ask these questions organically, not like an order taker where you're like, so what do you owe? So da 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 da. No, like you're just having a conversation, guys. Like they're saying, hey, I fell behind. Oh, okay. So what have you already tried? Right? Because you're trying to understand. If they tell you things like they did a loan modification, then they defaulted, and their objection is that they're going to do another loan modification, you have the information to show them why that's not going to make sense, right? And of course, in 15 minutes of being on here, we can't go over like all of the options and all of that. But if you guys are going to focus on pre-foreclosures, I absolutely think it's a non-negotiable to understand bankruptcy, to understand loan modifications, because those are the type of objections you're going to get. I'm just going to file bankruptcy. But do you know why that's only temporary? Do you know why that's only going to put them in a worse situation? So the more you know, the more confident you're going to be, and the more equipped to handle those kind of objections.
Awesome.
So,
what is step 3?
Yeah. So once you get past that, now you got to close it, right? A lot of people are really good at building rapport. They're great at sales. They're like, oh, I've gotten the information, but they ghosted me, right? And I'm sure people here are going to resonate with like, I thought I had a great conversation. The person never called me back. Well, great. So here is where we're driving the bus and we're creating urgency, because if you leave it up to them, it will never happen. That's why they're in this situation. And you have such a small window to actually get them on board. Because right now, when we go back to, okay, we understand this person's delusional, they're about to put their head back in the sand. But right now they're listening. So you have a very small window to create that urgency to say, okay, you don't ever want, we always talk about driving the bus, right? And taking control of the conversation. You don't ever want to say things like, well, let me know. Okay, well, we can circle back, right? Because what does that do? That gives the power away of saying,
I'm here if you need me.
Right. Keep my number. And then 100 more people call. No, the goal here, guys, is to go from random human being to Nicole. I talked to Nicole. Nicole's got me, right? Like you call one of my clients, and a lot of y'all do like, hey, cancel, whatever. No, Nicole's got me. Nicole and her team got us taken care of, right? So how do you differentiate yourself? Well, you create urgency. You explain like, okay, you get them to commit. And then here's the best part. When you do that, if they were going to ghost you, because most of the time people get ghosted because that person did not feel comfortable and safe in the conversation to say no. Right? They got off the phone. They still had a million concerns, but they liked you because you did a great job. So you're so close. Like if you get ghosted, take it as a compliment. Good job. You built rapport, but you have to be able to give them the chance to say no, because that is where you get the opportunity to overcome that objection instead of losing them on the phone. And now you never get to be a part of that dialogue that they're either going to have with themselves or someone else.
Love
So
it.
the third part is closing them. And I know I did kind of like an overview, but we don't have a lot of time. So.
I love it. Nicole, do you teach people this?
Oh yeah, we have our boot camp where we go over step by step, and we have like the call flow. Like this is all we do is mastering pre-foreclosures and how to. And that's the thing, is not just one exit strategy. Like we're gonna you need to know all the exit strategies, because there's never a one size fits all. Wholesale is not going to be every deal, right? Taking it down is not going to be every deal. Like all of the things. So
how many
really
pre-foreclosures have you prevented?
thousands. We have 110 right now. Like a lot.
Guys, this is the master right here. This is the absolute master. Where can they find out about your boot camp?
Yeah, so just head to YouTube, the Short Sale Queen, and you can see we have all of our links and information there.
Awesome. Great YouTube channel, guys. What book is behind you? Did you write another?
Yeah, so this is the How to Masters. My relationship manager made sure that y'all could see it.
Yeah, I love it.
She's so great about stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, let's just.
What's her name?
Jessie. She's Jess Gilmore.
Yes, great job.
This is our 300 pages. I thought I sent you one.
Oh my gosh, you better send me one.
I'm gonna send you one. It's literally the how to.
I love it. Absolutely. Can people find that somewhere?
Oh yeah, just go. If you go, you can go to our website.
Can you hold it up again so we can see it?
Yeah.
That'll make Jess happy. There we go. How to master short sales.
Jess,
Awesome.
look, I talked about it. Look.
Yeah, there you go. That is awesome, guys. Follow Nicole. There is her Instagram handle, and go to the YouTube channel, Short Sale Queen, or just type in Nicole Espinoza. You will find her. Thank you so much for pouring into our community today. You're the best. See you, Nicole. Awesome. Boom. Guys, listen, years and years and years and years of working with pre-foreclosures and preventing that. I mean, I can't even imagine the sense of pride that Nicole has in what she's doing for her communities. And I think she's doing it nationwide, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And if you have short sales, my suggestion is, or somebody that would like to talk about a short sale, and if you don't know how to handle them, definitely reach out to Nicole, definitely refer to them. They'll take it over and work with you. I don't know how splits work or anything like that, but reach out to her team. She's absolutely phenomenal. But we got Rafael Cortez in studio. What's up, brother?
Fam, what's going on?
Always good to see you. Going off screen.
Yes. We met right in the center where nobody can catch anything.
What's
up, fam?
So we're going through pre-foreclosures, and I want to go through your door knocking here in a second. All right. But let's get to a couple questions here. If you are, here we go. Let me add this. Caden, if you are remote wholesaling, what's another option other than door knocking for foreclosures?
Cold calling would be the fastest way. You can also do direct mail campaigns. I mean, those are pretty effective. I do a combination. Like I've done a combination when I pull a list, because it's a niched out list. It's not as big as like an absentee owner list.
Yeah.
You can really dial it in and then send out campaigns that are not going to kill your budget. There's direct mail that you can deploy.
Nothing's going to beat door knocking, guys.
In my opinion,
nothing is going to be door knocking. You have to understand. 100%. We broke it down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 120 days just to get a notice.
Yeah.
Right. That's the 2014 foreclosure national laws. They can't, they got to work with you. They got to contact you. The loss mitigation has to contact you 120 days before it even gets to the notice. And by the time it gets to the notice, then it goes bananas.
Yeah.
And we looked at it. They're going to get between 1,800 and 2,000 calls about that property before it forecloses.
You become noise. I mean,
Can you imagine?
That's what happens. Yeah.
You're sitting there getting 30 random calls a day, I mean, most of the people are smart. They'll
Yeah.
Google it. They'll either get an app that blocks unknown callers,
Yeah.
or on Apple, if they're not in your contacts, it won't even ring.
Yeah, it'll go silent. Yeah.
So I mean, they'll literally just fall off the face of the earth when it comes
Right.
to contacting them through the phone. Guys, if you're going to really take, I mean, do your thing. If you can get a hold of them on the phone, do your best. But it's going to be direct mail, or it's going to be door knocking, and door knocking is going to be far, far, far above. I would say, Caden, if you're doing remote, obviously focus on the other ones. Test it in your markets, test the pre-foreclosure, see if your contact rate is decent. If it is, go for it. But if it's not, don't be surprised.
Yeah, the lists are small enough that you can target them. Like you can do multiple approaches to them. So yeah, you have that. I mean, we hit them. We still, do some text messaging campaigns on pre-foreclosures. So as soon as they pop up, though, one thing to understand is by the time that you pull information from one of the websites that does API pull, like PropStream or any of the that sell bulk data, there's a delay. There's usually a delay that's going to be between 7 and 12 days, right, from the freshest info.
Yeah.
So kind of put it in perspective, right? If you hit a notice date, right,
Why is there a delay?
Well, because they have to come in, compile all that info, and then just roll it into their systems and whatnot. So there's always that's what we found because we've compared, right? So when you go direct to county, for example, like you get it right there and then, like it's fresh.
How do you go
know about
direct
it.
to the county?
So good question, Brent. I mean, you
I'm
can,
full of them.
yeah, you,
I'm just warming up.
let's go. But yeah, you can go direct to your county website, right? Or, they usually post them on county websites. Some counties, if they're small or too small, they won't have the records readily available. But a lot of the county websites have live postings when they're dropping notices, right? So the crazy thing is that you can go to the county website, just Google it, right? Where's my county posting pre-foreclosures, and you'll see a couple links on there. Go to the county direct website, you'll see them on there. You have to do some digging around depending, because every county is different. So, but when they post, like you usually, you'll see them right away. And a lot of the times, the crazy thing about cold or driving for dollars and door knocking is that we get to the door and we let them know that they haven't even gotten the notice yet. They're not even aware about it a lot of the times.
Right.
Right. Because it's so fresh.
Mhm.
So when you hit it like that, you become first of mind, you become top of mind. And like Nicole was saying, right, you want to be the problem solver. You want to be the go-to person. You become their guy or gal. And that's how you do it. You just have to get to it fast, speed to lead, right? We talk about that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Arturo Cortez.
Yeah, it's my cousin.
There we go.
We're probably cousins, bro. I guarantee you.
All right. Let's
Cortez with a Z too. Yeah.
let's share 23andMe stats, huh? All right. Arturo, when seller is getting a loan mod, does the seller charge for a loan mod? I don't think they can. I would definitely go to that Molo or Nolo, NOLO.com. They got a bunch of really good resources there, but I'm sure you could probably do a Google search. But I think I read it last night preparing for today's show that they have to, there's a certain amount of fees that they can charge. Now they're going to charge a bunch of fees for late penalties. They're going to probably charge attorney fees. So there's some stuff there. But I don't know if the actual bank can charge fees for doing the loan mod. I think what they do is they get you by increasing your interest rate, keeping your payment low, but the payment that you're not making is going on the principal on the back end. So you're going to actually owe more, which works out for a lot of people because of appreciation over time. It'll be fine as long as people have enough of a runway. But, a third to half of the people that are in foreclosure are going to be back in foreclosure, and it's tougher to get a second loan modification. So there you go. Next, Leisha, how do I get the unknown equity list? I've been getting fire damaged properties. Awesome. Definitely. Elijah Rubin is the fire damage king. He puts out a tremendous amount of information. And he's phenomenal at those. I mean, he knows how to work with the insurance companies and get paid from them.
There's like 4 different points of revenue in fire damage properties.
Idea.
Yeah, like he capitalizes on them all. Shout out to Elijah.
So check out Elijah Rubin, good friend of us, good friend of ours. And then the unknown equity list, you should be able to pull it in Deal Machine. I'll see if I can do that when Raphael is answering. Even if you have no sales, I don't know, Hunter, you're going to have to give me more context than that.
It was probably
Still more context. I don't know what that means. Ian asks, hey, quick question. What is the quick offer formula you teach when dealing with a seller who is pushy for an offer? Matt, can you load that up, please? The quick offer formula. I'll show you that in give us a couple minutes here. What do you use for quick offer formula? While I'm seeing if they have unknown equity and Deal Machine.
So I mean, we have it built into the CRM. So for us, it's the regular math, but I mean, once we have it in the CRM, it just spits it out automatically. One thing that I did started doing was working back from an 18% ROI to the end buyer, but it's not necessarily a quick offer. It's just more of it's a more solid way to make sure that you have sellable deals when you lock them up, right?
Yep.
But no, I like the what you do when you break it down and you go into, if it's 200, less than 100,000, you have to, go to, what is it, 10, 15%. I mean, that kind of stuff is it's really where you end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll show you this. We'll pull this up for you, Eden, and be able to get that. But Deal Machine has it right here. If you're looking for the unknown equity list, which is fantastic, you literally, all I did, and I really like this. I really like Deal Machine has improved an incredible amount. But when you go to this more button and it has the search, I didn't even have to search it. It's the first one here. But you could just type in equity or type in interest or type in whatever. They have all the data. It's bananas. And then you go to estimated equity amount and is unknown. It's a phenomenal list.
Yeah.
Phenomenal list. One to definitely check out. There you go. Matt, do we have that or? We're uploading it. Basically, here we go. Nope. I saw yesterday on Wholesaling Inc. that Pace mentioned not to worry about the DNC. Would you agree? No, I always suggest that you worry about the DNC. Yeah. I mean, listen.
Worry about the DNC.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Interesting points on both sides. Are attorneys going to go after a solopreneur that's just getting started and try to squeeze something out? Typically not. Are there literal courses that are being sold and taught to people when unknown number comes in and you're on the DNC? They literally teach you how to file lawsuits.
Yeah.
They literally teach you how to file lawsuits and they will take you to small claims court and they will try to squeeze you for $500 to $3,000, upwards to $10,000 for individuals. They will do that. It will be a distraction. Is it a cost of doing business? It's up to you. But I'm telling you this, when you get to a place where you're making $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 plus a month, there's blood in the water for real estate companies when it comes to litigating attorneys. And so I will keep you protected. I will. That's just my opinion on that. And so, yeah, I would scrub for the litigators. I would scrub for the DNC. And I wouldn't use robodialing, but people use robodialing. And so until that gets shut down, I guess people are just going bananas with it. They're going real bananas with it. They're making like millions of calls in like a second or something.
Yeah.
But that obviously is not a long-term business strategy. And I think it builds bad business practices or habits, at least.
I agree. I also think it's one of those things that, for example, we had, like RVMs were a thing for the seller side and
mass texting was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember Jared Vidalis was doing like millions.
I was on that boat. I mean, I opened up with mass texting and robodialing at the beginning. And I mean, it was great because you would get a ton of responses back. But yeah, again, practices change, policy changes, compliance changes. So
look at this. Pivot REI. I lost my first house because I didn't know anything about real estate. Now I wake up, call. Now I own 2,000 properties.
Wow.
2,000 properties?
It's a lot of properties.
Jeez, Pivot RE. That is bananas.
Where'd you
Would love
pivot
to interview you on the podcast for sure. Let me know your real name in the private chat and we'll get you on. That'll be awesome. Or bring you onto this show. That'd be cool. So there you go. All right. Oh, here you go. Here's your quick offer breakdown, guys. Let me get rid of that. Okay, good. This is working really well in this market. Really, really, really well. Is it perfect? No. In Phoenix, are we closer to about 60-70% if it's over 250? Yes. Maybe even a little bit more, but we understand what our buyers are buying in each area. And so this is just a broad stroke, but this will really help you out. It'll really help to see if these people are going to hang up on you or if they're going to hang on to the conversation.
Yeah.
See how I did that with two different ways to hang? I just thought of that, guys.
Dad jokes.
I'm like killing it. I have a hilarious dad joke.
You are.
I have a hilarious dad joke. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. I'll ask the chat if you want me to say something that's a little bit off color.
I'm gonna vote.
I mean, a little bit like edgy. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Who am I to hold back your?
It has
shine?
nothing to do with color. It has to do with butts. Anyway, here we go. TTP offer estimator. If this estimate is 50 if these estimate is 250,000 or more, you want to be about 50% if the property's in rough shape. If it's an older rough shape, or if it's new property but just really rough. If it's between 249,900 and 100, it's 35%, and if it's 100,000 or less, it's 10%.
Yeah,
cool.
I like that.
So that'll work for you guys. All right. Awesome. There you go. So here's one for Rafael.
Joe Castaneda. Question for Cortez. Would you be cool with sharing your steps and procedures for following up with your warm leads? I drive for dollars, get property owner info, call and go from there.
Nice.
Okay.
By the way, he's going to answer this question. Then we're going to get into your awesome strategy for door knocking, pre-foreclosures, what you're doing there. Are you doing leave behinds? Are you doing, how you setting appointments? What's your approach? We're going to drop in as soon as he gets started here. He's going to drop in, Matt's going to drop in the Google Drive with all the scripts for you guys. All right.
Nice. Actually, that's exactly what I was going to talk about. It's just kind of like the process, right?
Yeah.
On the front
We'll just
end,
drop it in there now, Matt. That's fine.
Yeah, just drop it in there. This is the link right now in the chat. It's a download for a script.
Mm-hmm.
There's no opt-in or anything. It's just a download.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So Joe, one of the things, of course, you want to make sure that you have the fresh data.
Can you say his last name again?
Joe Castaneda.
That's beautiful.
That's how we do it.
Nieta?
It's Nieta.
Nieta. I love that. That is all. I wish I had one of those things.
A thingy on the end.
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's called the thingy on the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Joe. So yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, the fact that you're going there, this one, for example, it's the basic, let's call it the base, right? For having first contact at the door,
mm-hmm.
right? You go in, and of course, you're always, I mean, you're gonna have different people who answer the door. When you're cold calling, you have a cell phone of that person, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of easier to peg a name to the number.
Yeah.
When you're at the door, you don't know if that's the person that's on the title and whatnot. So
sure.
Anyways, we're looking for that, but we go through that process of having this whole entire conversation. I'll jump into the follow-up, which was Joe's question, and then I'll get into the script, I guess. So when we have that conversation with the seller, right, there's a lot of things that happen that are broken down here in the talk. But if it doesn't go anywhere, remember, the first thing that you're trying to do, or the biggest thing that you're trying to do when you make first contact at the door, is to set up that appointment. You're hardly ever gonna do a one visit, one close, type of deal. If you're closing the deal and negotiating the deal and everything, you want to make sure that they have some time for it, right? So if the appointment is going to be right after the door knocking, that's great, but you're leading them on to that next step. So that's one thing. Our team, for example, the way that I have it now, we have door knockers. So
yep.
their main, thing is to set up the appointment. So kind of
how many door knockers?
Think of lead generation, right?
Yep.
You don't need a lot for areas like big counties. I mean, I know we can cover, for example, the entire Maricopa County area with 4 drivers.
Love it.
4 people who are going at it all the time.
Are they going after specific properties that pop up on the list, like fresh, or are they going after?
Fresh.
later. Okay.
Yeah. So we
As soon as they pop up, that's their daily go-to knock on the door.
right. We have proprietary software that I
Is it
mean,
available?
now. Yes, it's actually we're rolling it out, so it's available here in Arizona.
Why are you teasing everybody?
Because we don't have it in every market yet. We have it in Arizona.
Got
People
it.
want to hop in, right?
Okay.
So hit me up, send me a message if you want info on that. But so what it does, it just gives you like super fresh data. Like it's just posted on the county website, and we get it like seconds later, right?
Yeah.
So it's that fresh. What happens is that we have drivers out on the streets, and they, the notice pops up,
Mhm.
and they're broken down into different zones.
Yeah.
So notice pops up, it's in their
Ah.
zone. Like they'll go to that property right away.
Is
'cause
the
it just
zone
came
based
up.
on where they live?
Yeah, we have meetings, and then they just kind of pick their areas.
You have virtual meetings or in-person meetings?
Both. I mean, here, it's lends itself that we can do in-person meetings.
So they
But for
come to your
example-
office.
Yeah, they come to the office, and we
You-
do that kind of stuff.
Are they
But
wearing-
we have teams in Florida as
Right.
well, where we just do virtual stuff.
Are they wearing the same thing?
No.
Are they wearing? What are they
Just
wearing?
regular clothing. We don't have,
What are
the
they driving?
T-shirt. Their own cars.
Okay.
Yeah, so their cars. We keep it pretty casual on that side.
Is there a better time of day that they're going out versus others?
No, we get we get hits all the time. What we look for is, for them to make contact with 15 doors. So at least, right? So you have
15 doors.
15 to 25
In what time frame?
throughout the day. So like that's their KPI. A lot of them hit more, but we have
Right.
a minimum of 15 doors that they got to go out and hit on a daily basis.
They knock on the door. Nobody answers. What happens?
So they knock on the door, nobody answers. This is part of that follow-up.
Mhm.
So right there and then we have the data already skip traced in the software. So they'll call the seller, they'll
Yep.
text the seller, and
Yep.
they'll do a leave behind. The leave behind is just a very simple note. That you think about the curiosity factor.
Yeah.
Right. We've done letters. We've done, like professional looking things. We've done Post-it notes. They all work. They all give you responses. One thing that we're doing now is we're actually so one of the things that we do through the software is like we can actually pull the PDF document from the county.
Yep.
So when you go to the county, as opposed to when you just download a list, right? When you go to the county, you actually see the document, and it'll say copy on there. It'll say so it's not an official document, but it's coming from the county. You don't have to pay for it. It's free downloads usually. So we have that PDF, and the drivers have access to that PDF, right?
Yep.
So one, if they're setting up the route the night before, they'll print out all the PDFs that they're going to go to, like all the homes that they're going to be going to.
Yep.
And that's the leave behind. Like do that, leave your name and phone number on that thing.
Mhm.
Just kind of fold it up, put it in an envelope, and then leave it behind, right? That's leave behind. So
Pace was saying that he suggests writing on a paper plate and leaving it at the door.
I guess you could do that if you don't have anything else, right? Something's better than nothing, but
Yeah.
I haven't done the plate strategy yet.
I'd like you to try it. I would.
You know what? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I don't know, live a little, right? So, but this,
I mean, you were talking about the curiosity factor.
yeah, curiosity is like, what the? Yeah, I mean,
Who came by and
makes
left
sense.
a paper plate with their phone number on here? This
Yeah.
is crazy.
I don't know what I would think to that for somebody who wants to buy my house and but
They don't know.
Yeah,
They're just like, call me with their number.
yeah. So
Call me with the number, and it's a paper plate, and they
we'll
call
roll
you.
it
and they're
out.
Like, you
We'll-
left a paper
give it a
plate at
shot.
my house.
We'll
and you're like,
see. We'll use that as a leave behind.
I want you to test it. I would like to get some real life data on
I'm gonna
that.
talk to my guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them do that kind of stuff. I'm gonna
Just
buy
get
them
a stack of like
stack
1,000.
plates.
It's like in there.
Yeah,
You have to put the seatbelt on because
I'll
the
make-
sensor's going off in your car.
I'll make it a nice plate too, so they know that it's quality.
No. The worse, the better.
Where's the better?
Like the old school. Yeah.
yeah.
Like that,
So-
you're making like some delicious nachos. You got to double, triple up those ones.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking
the
about.
see-through
type of-
ones. Yeah,
Yes.
nice. So, but yeah, so that's one, right? If you want to get crafty, you can do that type of leave behind, or do a post-it note. Post-it notes. I mean, they like people won't miss them. Do something that's popping, and then, hey, this is John. Give me a call back.
Mhm.
Right? Something simple like that. You don't want to do an explainer, paragraph in there or anything like that. Just, okay, like who's this John person that's going to call me back? So that text and then a phone call. One thing that you mentioned about carriers, if somebody's in that situation and they're doing like the unknown numbers and filtering numbers,
Yeah.
you got to cycle dial them. So we go cycle. So basically what that means is calling back to back.
Psycho or cycle?
No, psycho. P.
Yeah. Like a
crazy.
psychopath.
Yeah, like a psychopath.
Got it. Okay.
So we call it psycho dialing, but
yeah.
it's back to back 3 times, right? Usually the third time pushes it through the carrier.
Yeah.
So we'll do that when they're at the door, right? It's hard to do if you're cold calling a list of 1,000 people, but if you're in front of a house, you can dial somebody 3 times.
And
So-
you have their phone number?
Yeah, so we have it skip traced.
Yeah.
That's one way, right?
Mhm.
So they'll go to town on that, and that's part of the SOP. Like literally,
You can
knock on the
also, guys,
door.
Deal Machine has it in the app that you can literally pull up in front of the house, have their phone number, give them a
Yeah.
call. Just saying.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's it works in the same fashion.
Yep.
But yeah, so if they don't answer, I mean that's a protocol for it. When it comes to follow-ups, I mean you'll see so pay attention, right? Like read between the lines. When you walk up to the house, if the house is in disarray, there's beat up cars, overgrown lawn in the front, you see more distress than a really nice looking house, right? That's going to give you higher cues. Like, okay, this might be a little bit of a hotter deal because it seems and it feels like they have more pain than the other guy.
Yeah.
That may not be true, but we interpret what we see in front of us, right?
Mhm.
So go down the path of pre-qualifying, like not pre-qualifying, but prioritizing your follow-ups, right? So the night before, set up a list of 15 to 25 properties that you're going to go and hit. I mean, that's part of that follow-up process too. And then throughout the day, if you're actively looking at the county websites, you're going to get new fresh leads to go hit that day. But, do it that way. If you're doing one-offs, it may be a little tougher to just, do everything yourself. That's why we build the software, but it's effective. Like when you're in front of these people and like right there and then, like that's the point of contact that everything else is being worked for, right? When we dial, when we have letters sent out, when we do all the other crazy marketing things, what we want to do is we want to have that first conversation with the seller. When you're door knocking, you're having it right there and then.
Yep.
I mean, you're just accelerating.
How many properties do you knock per deal?
We have our stats are.
Do you go knock per deal or conversation? Like I assume.
So let me give you the
tier.
numbers. Yeah. So
All right, I'm gonna
so
write
we
this
go
down.
15 properties. That's the point of contact. Out of 15 properties,
Yeah, you're going.
we'll get 4 to 7 that actually get the door. So 4 to 7 contacts. And out of those 4 to 7 contacts, we usually end up with 1 appointment. So 1 appointment meaning for the closer, right? So these guys are out there. The drivers, the door knockers in my operation, they're securing the appointment. That's what they're doing. They're not negotiating the deal. They're not closing the deal. They're not signing paperwork.
So you hit 15 doors and you're talking to 4 people?
4 to 7 usually on average.
That's incredible. Okay. So you're and that's just any time throughout the day?
Yeah, they just hit them. And I have drivers that go 25, 30 doors on a day.
And then from the 4 people,
You usually end up with 1 appointment, one or two
appointment.
appointments. So 4 to 7, and then 1 or 2 appointments. That's kind of like.
and then out of
the metric.
how many appointments to a locked up deal?
For the first half of the year, I haven't taken a look at the second half, but for the first half of this year, we had 1 in 7 turn into an agreement,
That's
a
crazy.
purchase contract.
7 appointments per deal.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, that's incredible. So you need to just times this by 7. What's 15 by 7 is
You're usually looking at 100.
60, 75, 90,
Yeah, you're-
105.
Yeah,
No,
you're looking at
that's too much.
around 100, 110 doors.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but this puts you right up there, man. And then you have a ton of follow up, and then again, it's a matter of nurturing those leads. Now the handoff and is very important. So one thing that we do is once they secure the appointment, the door knockers, they tee it up for the acquisitions manager, right? Now they'll start pivot. Okay, he did it perfect. There you go. Then the follow-up is picked up from there, right? Like now the follow-up is on the actual acquisitions manager. They become, the next step in that pipeline.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how it works. That's how the cookie crumbles.
Is there enough doors to hit your financial goals, or do you have to go into multiple markets?
We went into multiple markets.
Because there's not that many. I mean, I looked it up. I mean, in Phoenix, there was only 1,700, I want to say, that were in pre-foreclosure out of 2 million properties.
Yeah. So those
so-
numbers right there on the board. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like once you hit a door, it's not like it goes, it fades into the wind, right? It's still gonna
Right.
be there.
Right,
So
right.
you're still gonna cycle through the follow-ups and usually the contacts that we have are based off of the contacts per day. So it may be you may be hitting the same property, 3 or 4 times during a period of 4 weeks. So that's one. But yeah, so we do it virtually because I mean the model just allows for it. As long as we can get the data, like that's the key, right? We can get the data fresh. We're gonna be at least a week ahead of everybody else.
Do you think that people should do this themselves before they hire other people?
1,000%.
How many doors should they knock before they hire anybody?
Before they hire, I mean, I think they should hit it. I mean, every day for a month and hit at least 25 doors. So
700 doors.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's call it 1,000.
Yeah.
Let's
There
take
you
it to
go.
the next level.
Yeah, take it to the next level. Think big.
Let's pump up the jam to 1,000.
You need to, you need to know what you're getting yourself into, right? In terms of the conversation, in terms of what to expect from the sellers. They're going to throw a lot of curveballs at you, especially if you're getting started in the industry and you don't know the lingo too well. Like this is where you learn it. You're belly to belly with these people. You're belly to belly with the actual problem.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to teach you a lot of things. It's going to build that, thicker skin that we need. And now we know what to look for when we're hiring drivers.
How do you recruit drivers?
A lot of it is word of mouth. I mean, we post on social media, online. Some of our best guys, they come from the solar sales. I mean, they're used to door knocking, 24 hours a day, type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that's the avatar, right? But I can tell you, man, one of our best drivers. She was a transaction coordinator, super introvert, type of person, but she cares.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like the common denominator is caring about what you're gonna be doing for these people. Like Nicole was explaining, right? Like that stuff, like that, that energy it transpires through somebody. People can feel it, people can see it and sense it, and they know, okay, this person like really genuinely is trying to do something here. There's gonna be a win-win, of course. Yeah. Right.
What do you pay these guys?
They're paid per deal. So when deal closes, we do $3,000.
Deal close, 3,000. Boom.
Yeah.
Who's making the most on your team? What do they make a month?
They're doing. She's on average four deals
a month.
Yeah, on
She's
average.
making $12,000.
Yeah, over 10K. Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah, Stacy.
Beast. Shout out.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
wow.
That lady is. Yeah.
What's her background?
TC, like she was a transaction. She was brought in to the company a long time ago for transaction coordination. And then this opened up. She was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And actually, right now, she's out there pounding the streets.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome, guys. Caden's just asking a bunch of great questions, so I'm going to keep bringing them up. But guys, if you have questions, it's really interesting. So we started talking about door knocking. And when you came on, we had like 90 people. Now we have 60 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? It really filters out people. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Because people are like, oh, I'm not gonna door knock. But I'm telling you, that's how I started. Me and a team of a few of us were door knocking every single day. We knocked about 15,000 doors. And then I figured out, just making the calls, and I just knocked every door because I was being an agent, but also like looking for deals for investors and this type of thing. So I was canvassing the whole area. So it's a different strategy, but I would highly suggest that if you're going to take pre-foreclosure seriously, get to the doors. Get to the doors, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. 100%. Right here, the question is, what's your average deal size for door knocking?
For door knocking, those are usually deeper deals. I mean, I want to say it's in the mid, 35 to 45 range.
Woo!
When you do assignments. Now, a lot of the strategies on these are they end up being creative financing, right. Buy and hold type of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So
do you filter out the ones you go after based on the strategy, or you hit?
No, we just hit them all.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were to do it by yourself, would you filter some out?
I based on equity. Yeah, based on equity, and even if they have,
that's what I showed. 5%. I did older, 10%. Built 30 years ago and have equity.
Yeah, sign me up.
Awesome.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's awesome. Here we go. Hey, Raphael, where can I get in contact info with your team to possibly work together? I'm out here in SoCal.
Dope. Hit me up on socials. Shoot me a message on Instagram. It's actually me on the
That's responding.
DMs. Yeah,
All
I
right.
respond to my DMs.
What's your DM?
Slide in my DMs
Yeah, I mean, what's your Instagram?
at Rafael Cortez CEO.
CEO.
Yeah, at Rafael Cortez CEO.
CEO.
It
There
didn't
you
sound
go.
right, right? Slide into my DMs.
All right, it is time for. Thank you. That was absolutely
My
awesome,
pleasure,
guys. If you have
homie.
any more questions, put them in the chat or put them in the comments if you're watching the replay. What we've been doing is because the when we live stream these, the YouTube doesn't give the best quality, so we actually get a higher quality one and upload it as well. Are we going to do that again, Luke? Yeah, we will. So either one that you're watching, put in the comments. We'll make sure to respond. We're really, really, really good at responding on the comments in YouTube, especially for our beautiful, strong, angular subscribers, right? All right. So make sure that if you're not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, put a comment in there if you're getting extreme value that you're going to go and implement into your business right now and go get a deal.
You have an extra Z on that handle on my name.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it was
Yeah, somebody type in
Alejandro.
Raphael's handle right. There you go. They think your last name's Cortez.
Cortez. I mean, I see the flair.
All right,
Yeah.
so next we're gonna do a what would you rather. Before we do what would you rather, last week you guys are all like, oh, Brent, keep your Denali, don't get that Cybertruck. Looks like a refrigerator. Well, guess what? I got that
He's a
Cybertruck.
proud owner
Look
of a
at that.
refrigerator.
I am a big hit with 7-year-olds. I'll tell you that. A
Bam.
big hit with 7-year-olds. There we are this morning. Boom.
Nice.
Jordan's 7-year-old son's jersey. Look at that thing. Nothing looks like that thing. It is the coolest thing to drive. I'm telling you.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
We'll drive after this. After the show,
Done
unless
and
you got to
done.
go. Anyway, now we're going to go which would you rather. We're going 2 beautiful properties. Are we ready for that, Matt? All right, we're going to look on the board here. This is a fun game that we like playing. I just like throwing out some big inspirational things. And I always liked when I was reading and coming up and I was like 18 to 22 to 25, I was always like looking at these big mansions and they were so awesome. And I was like, how do people afford this and all that? And so I think it's good to have some things out there that you're really pushing towards, whether people live in these or not, who knows. But we're going to look at and see what your opinion is. First, we've got number 1. Look at this stately estate. Wow. You've got grass going all the way up to the pool lip. Very nice. You don't see that in Arizona, I'll tell you this. So I assume this is somewhere East Coast or Midwest, but really great patio, really great area. You've even got a red umbrella. Look at that. Private thing. We're really good at describing properties. We're really good. Now you've got something that looks substantially smaller, but more modern. You got a nice walkway out here to your boat dock here that I assume is holding, some sort of pontoon boat or fishing boat or whatever. This would be a dope area to sit at, actually. I mean, you've got the Adirondack chairs there. You got them here. So either way, you get Adirondack chairs because I know everybody is a big fan of Adirondack chairs. This looks a little bit more rural. This looks a little bit more out there, but maybe not. And this one is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Not that I want to be biased.
Yeah.
Can I highlight something about this?
Yes.
This little section over here is the one that got me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
What, the dormers?
Is that the ocean I see?
Oh, is it? Oh, that might be the ocean behind it. Oh, I think that's just the sky. I think it's just the sky. Guys, put in there one or two. Let us know what you think. Which one would you go after? 1 or 2, and we'll see which one wins. That's a little fun game. Now, we're going to give another giveaway while you guys are responding to this. Raphael, we'll keep this up while you're throwing the darts. Guys, again, let's go through it real quick. Thank you for participating. Thank you for staying on the show. We love you guys. We love doing this show every single week. We get really excited. So we got the Trapper Keeper. Again, it keeps and it traps all your documents for fun and easy transport.
Sheets, that's what I see.
That's right, master lead sheets. And we're going to throw in Henry Washington's Real Estate Deal Maker book. Bought 20 copies of that. It's phenomenal. That'll be top shelf. Middle shelf is going to be the hoodie, the Rhino hoodie, which I think everybody in the staff, except for Alejandra, is wearing today. And the shirt for the bottom one. So, Raph, do your best.
Damn.
Oh, I'm in the way. I keep doing that.
I smacked it.
Come on.
Didn't get it.
Come on.
All right.
Boom.
Nailed it.
This guy. Top shelf, baby.
I've been
Top
practicing
shelf, baby.
17 hours a day for the past 4 weeks.
Top shelf. We're giving that away. That'll be we're giving away the Trapper Keeper. There you go. We're going to transport you back to 1988 when the Trapper Keeper was mass produced. It was the top selling child school, back to school. I don't know. What would you call it?
Are we going to
thing?
be transporting
thing.
people back there at 88 miles per hour?
Yes. Yeah, we are. That's
You see what I
exactly
did
we're
there?
gonna
You
do.
either
I
get
bet-
it or
I
you
bet Our
don't.
next guest had a Trapper Keeper back in the day. I have a feeling, but you never know. Guys, we got number 2. Look at this. Okay, so this one has taken it. People like the water. People love being on water.
Yeah.
People love being on. You know why people love being on water like this? Because they don't have kids. Okay. Do you know how you have small children? You got to put a fence around this thing. Well, same with that, but that's a lot easier than a shoreline. So that's why people like the water. They're like, yeah, of course. Yeah. You don't have to worry about it. But then your toddler falls into the river and you have to go and save them. So just a little perspective. All right. There you go. But I like that. Yeah. Number 2 is a beautiful house. But I would have, I mean, style wise, number 2 is mine.
Yeah.
But number 1, I think Erin, my wife Erin, would take that in a heartbeat over this for sure. She's
I
much
still
more of
think
that.
that's the ocean back there.
It could be. That could be. That would be a weird angle. I don't know how the ocean sneaks out that far, but
Well, it's like cameras do crazy things.
guys, we have an absolute master. Thousands and thousands of people saved from the clutches of one of the worst financial things that can happen to you, a foreclosure on your record. We've got another master. First, we had Nicole Espinoza, and now we have our buddy here locally, Matthew Potter. Matthew, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
How are you?
Hey,
How many,
over here working hard, dude.
to the exact amount, how many deals have you done?
Deals or short sales?
Short sales, foreclosures, anything.
All right.
I'm
Right
just kidding.
now,
You don't have to be exact.
right now,
Huh?
right now, we're sitting at about 19,400.
19,400 deals or pre-foreclosures?
That's pre-foreclosures. You want to throw
What?
deals? You want to throw deals on there? It's about another 2,000 that we've done since being licensed.
Holy cow.
that's a chunk.
19,000 for
Nice.
Guys, you got to put some love in the chat for Matthew
Dude,
Potter.
I knew you
That's
were a
bananas.
savage. I didn't know you were that much of a savage.
Come on now, Raphael. Come on, bro.
So tell us what you've learned about people, the actual property owners that are going through a foreclosure process.
Most of them are extremely amazing people that have just had life happen to them. And it happens to anyone. I mean, especially for anybody that went through 07 to 2012. It knew no socioeconomic, type or anything. I mean, you had people that were, 50K homes, people up to $5 million, $50 million homes. It didn't matter. And
Yep.
the thing that's interesting is, even with right now, like, I'll be honest, our short sale business has picked up dramatically in the last 12 months.
Really?
Yeah. Like right now, I think in Phoenix, active and pending, I think we have about 60 on the market.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's steadily started to increase. I watch those numbers every day.
Mhm.
And the thing that I've noticed is people are stretched thin, dude. Like, let's be honest, things are expensive. Is there anybody out there saying things aren't expensive right now? I mean, utilities, taxes, insurance, food, car insurance, all of it. And it's starting to strain people. And when you're in a situation where ultimately maybe you're living paycheck to paycheck, all it takes is one blip in that process, and you're now the difference between, hey, we're doing okay, to, hey, Matt, we need you to do a short sale for us.
Yep. Got it. Is there ever opportunities where it's not a short sale and you're just buying these as an investor?
There are opportunities where it makes sense, maybe numbers wise, maybe, long-term rental, midterm rental. I'm not a huge fan of short-term rentals. That's just my personal belief, but hey, to each their own. There are opportunities that are there for maybe other strategies that may make sense. Like, I'll be honest, I actually did this with one of our personal properties that we own. I sold it on a wrap. Like, I just took a nice down payment. I think I took 10% on it.
Yeah.
Sold it on a wrap. I think I make like $100 a month, on the mortgage. But dude, I took the down and I was like, I'm cool. Like, I'm like, you go enjoy the house. So there are opportunities that are non-short sale, but I'm starting to see that cusp where, hey, even if you took it at the mortgage balance that's on it, right? Like, say you're doing sub 2 or a wrap or something like that. By the time I'm done doing the short with where interest rates are or where they can be bought down to, there's more affordability over here on the short sale side. So that's why I think we're starting to see that push that's occurring where people are like, dude, we're done. Like, we're tapped. Just get rid of it. Go ahead and sell it.
No, I'm just wondering, like, the properties that you run into that have significant equity, are the owners like, hey, let's just list it on the market and sell it and be done with it and pay off the debts? Or are they like, hey, listen, I need a cash offer on this right now and I need to be done with this? Are you running into any of that? Or are you just, because you're known as the short sale, people are just bringing you short sales?
Honestly, both. We run into both, and we bring those options to the table. Why wouldn't we bring a cash buyer to the table?
Of course.
Why wouldn't we bring the option to list it? And the thing is, and I'm very, very straightforward. I'm an open book with anybody that I work with. I let them know, look, you may be on the market for 30, 60, 90 days to attain X price or even this price. Cash is cash, and it's going to give you what you're looking for, and you can exit and you recoup some of that equity versus maybe running up against that trustee sale and having to try and reinstate so that you can go ahead and do it all over again. So we try to come with multiple tools in the tool belt to serve them so that they have the best options possible to exit the property and get in a better spot.
Where are you guys finding the most of your deals right now?
Honestly, bro, I miss you, bro. It's good to see you. No, honestly, we're at the point where most of the business finds us. And like, I don't say that to be conceited, but we've done so many of them. People know our process that they hear short sale and they're like, hey, let's talk to Potter. He's gonna go ahead and take it cradle to grave for us. I literally just had this conversation with a gentleman in Minnesota earlier today who he's done one deal with us. He's got another one in process. And he's like, dude, this is smooth. This is the way it should be. I'm bringing you everything. And like, that's all he's marketing for is pre-foreclosures and short sales, particularly reverse mortgages, ironically enough.
What about early on when you guys were getting, going with the strategy? I mean, you've been in the space for a long time, but
yeah, when we started out, I kid you not, it was 16 hours a day. I was on the phones or I was shaking hands with people. In the words of Mr. Daniels over there, it was talk to people. Like,
there you go.
I would go meet.
Yep.
I would go meet with agents. I would meet with investors. I'd meet with title companies. I would meet with lenders, and I'd say, look, you're going to run into people that need short sales. Bring them to me. Let me be the conduit to get these people the relief they need. And if you're a lender, cool, dude, we'll put you in the MLS. Please pre-qualify with Brent Daniels at ABC Mortgage. And if you're a title company, hey, please utilize, XYZ title company. So that was our way of trying to build and foster those relationships, which,
power network,
it's the beast, bro.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you had a hustle season there when you were starting out? where
Yep.
you were just absolute. Why even do that? Like, why not just call for 2 hours? Why not call for 3 hours? Why go all day long trying to build your business? Like, what? Take your time. You know what I mean?
Because 2 to 3 hours isn't going to cut it in my world. Then,
There you
like,
go.
I'm gonna go hard in anything I do. I mean, Brent, you've known me a long time, bro.
Yep.
I'm nonstop, and it was one of those things. Once I knew what I was doing, I had a system and I had a process in place, and I had the right people, meaning the specific parts. I could go out there confidently. It didn't matter who I talked to.
Yep.
I was going to get their business, and like it got to the point. We actually had banks that were reaching out to us that were like, "Hey, this seller needs a short sale. Go list it for them." And we were like,
Love
"Cool. Well, we're here for it." So I've always been a workhorse. You know, I was you know, an athlete growing up. Like always one of those people that like, dude, I put 110 into everything. And I look at it this way: this is my business that I'm building for me, my family, my future. Why wouldn't I want to go put 16 hours in?
I love it.
Yeah, when you see it like that, man, when you change the perspective, right, of the hustle, quote unquote hustle, like things change.
Well, what else
dude.
are we gonna do
Yeah,
all day?
Yeah, exactly.
What if you're a
Scroll.
full-time entrepreneur? What else are you going to do all day besides, you know, talk to people about
Yeah,
buying and selling real estate?
create
That,
stuff.
that
yeah.
that's all that is. And whether you're a realtor, or whether you're a wholesaler, or you know, you raise funds to do flips or whatever it is, you got to always be on the. That's what I always found. You know it. You're always on the phone all day. I'm on the phone all day. It's just different people that we're talking to. It's not like we're doing lead generation anymore, but it is. You're always on the phone.
Yeah, same principles.
Dude, it's my kids literally know my entire phone call. Like they'll mimic me, like my littles, my 5-year-old,
yeah.
my 8-year-old. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, how can I help you with your short sale?" Like I had my 5-year-old running around the house saying that because she just hears dad say it all the time. And
It's
like,
awesome.
I mean, I'm in a little bit of a different season. Like, yes, I'm established, but at the end of the day, Brent, if you have a client that needs to do a short sale and you say, "Yo, I need you to call Raphael, he needs to do a short sale," I'm the one that picks up the phone and calls him. Like I still do that because at the end of the day, that's where the true value is for me. It's not necessarily me putting together a short sale package and submitting it. I have my people in place for that. It's me having the conversation and then me doing the final negotiation with the bank. Other than that, I have my pieces in place. So it's a little bit of a different hustle season now where it's more from an education standpoint to consumer, agent, or whoever.
Dave asked this question here, Matthew. How does a wholesaler get paid on a short sale exactly?
Well, it depends. And that's like anything in a short sale scenario. It really depends.
Yeah.
Some people will come to us, they'll bring a deal, they're a wholesaler, but maybe they're an end buyer as well. They'll just go ahead and purchase it at terms that work for them. They'll buy it, fix it, flip it, sell it, they'll burr it, whatever works for them.
Yeah.
We have other people that will buy it, do a double close on it. The one thing is most lenders, especially on your GSE loans, your Fannie, your Freddie, FHA, VA, USDA, they usually have a clause in there of no assignability. So you're usually going to have to take it down and you're going to have to adhere to whatever the bank's guidelines is. And this is the thing that I'll say about that. Anyone that thinks that they're going to beat the federal government, dude,
Better not.
You better not. Like, just
Better
don't.
not.
Like, adhere to their guidelines. If they tell you don't transfer title for 30 days, don't transfer title for 30 days. Like,
there was a great, I was
You're asking
listening
for a
to,
headache. Yeah.
I was listening to Alex Hermosi on a thing, and he was talking about exercise, but I think it applies to business as well. And he's like, if I can't do this forever, I'm not going to do it. Right. Like the crazy CrossFit stuff and all the, the thing. I mean, there's phases in life and stuff like that, but it's the same thing with business, like lead generation and the techniques that you're using. Is like, is this a long-term proven plan, proven system, proven lead generation that has worked since the beginning of time? Or is this just a fad? Or is this something that you're trying to, pull one over or a loophole or this is the best, Matt. It's in the gray. It's in the gray area, right? You know what I mean? Any of that stuff, by the way, you're going to have to switch your business model, and then you're starting over. And then all of that momentum that you have, your train is stopped. It's sitting on the tracks. And so whenever you're thinking about a new strategy or how to bring in income, just think, how can I do this predictably for a long time? That's number one, because you'll build some pillars in there that are long lasting.
100%. And like the thing that I love that you just touched on, we started doing these in 07, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's, God, I can't believe that. That's 17 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
We started doing them in 07. We have not changed our business model since 2007. It's the exact same. We haven't deviated. We haven't added a new loophole in or anything like that, because to your point, I'm not in the gray. Like I'm extremely transparent. It's there. The bank is well aware of, hey, you're a licensee. We have, money that's baked in for licensees. You're going to get compensated that way. And you're doing a good job for everybody. Thanks for doing your job. And like, the thing is, I have people that are like, dude, you could be making 5 times as much per deal. And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I would probably be doing 1/10 of the deals that I do. So I'd rather make more and help more people.
Of course. And can't, like, if it's somebody that's licensed and they refer you, can you give referral fees? Do you give referral fees? Is that a thing?
Dude,
okay.
I am the first one that opens the pocketbook and pays a referral fee to everyone. Like, dude, in Arizona, I have agents. They're like, oh, well, I think I'll do it myself. And I'm like, I'll give you a 30% referral fee and you don't have to do anything. And they're like,
done.
Sign me up.
Done.
They're like, I just sent a group text with my client. Please call them immediately. And I'm like, okay, there you go. And it's because
you're doing brain surgery when other people are doing heart surgery. And it's like, listen, could you try brain surgery as a heart surgeon? Yeah, sure, probably, but you probably aren't going to be any good at it. You know what I mean? Like stay in your lane. Like if you're an agent, be an agent, help people buy and sell. You don't have to learn all the nuances to short sales, go through that whole process, wait the 6 months or 3 months or whatever else and get that done. And so, I love that. You have a team at Real.
Yeah, no, we do.
Real allow wholesaling?
They do. There's some specific requirements for it, but they do allow licensees to wholesale there. Like what
are the restrictions? Not restrictions, but overlays.
They want to see you do a couple traditional deals or have some deals under your belt before they'll completely release you. That being said, me and my wife, we were kind of the first original wholesalers at Real. We actually wrote the wholesale addendum that they use.
Awesome.
So a lot of times they'll say, hey, you need to look for a sponsor that will oversee you so that we know that it's being done correctly. So we just tell people, join us. We'll oversee you. You'll be in a good spot.
Guys, this is, if you are in one of those states where licensing is coming down the pipe and they're going to require it to wholesale, guys, you've got an incredible leader, coach, mentor, partner here with Matthew Potter and his team, and it's nationwide, right? Real?
Yep. All 50 states and Canada.
I
literally have a call after this with a gentleman in Virginia. He's like, I'm ready to activate my license. I need it. I have 10 deals under contract. Like, I need to be active today. And I'm like, I got you, dude. Don't worry. You're going to be okay.
Incredible. Incredible, guys. Nice. Get in and have that. How do people get a hold of you?
They can reach out to me. I run phoenixshortsale.com. That's my short sale website. You can reach out to me, Instagram, Facebook. You can call me, text me, email me. I pick up my phone. Brent,
where do they find your number? Just online?
Honestly, you can Google it. It should be there, but dude, I'll give it here. I got no problem with it. It's 480-343-7894.
What's the name of that website again?
phoenixshortsale.com.
phoenixshortsale.com.
Guys, we're going to put that in the chat. That is 480, Alejandro or Matt, 480-343-7894. If you're interested in joining Matt's team at Real, he's got an incredible team. And obviously they have all the experience, and you could just tell the heart and enthusiasm he has for this business. So if you're in one of those states that needs a license and you want that to be all perfect, long lasting business practices, Matt's going to navigate those waters for you. So that's absolutely huge. I wasn't even bringing you on for that, but I think that we need to bring you on maybe in studio one of these days and just talk about, what states require and how to connect with you. That'd be awesome. Two quick questions and then we'll let you go. Really important. Number one, Alejandro on my team says that I'm a basic bitch for the Stanley, right? Do you ever feel like that?
Oh,
Or are you
there we
feeling
go.
pretty confident with that?
Bro, it's not a Stanley, it's a Manly. All right.
There you go.
It's a Manly.
That's right. The
Yeah,
second one is
This is our network at our brokerage. Like, this is custom made for us right here.
I love it. I love
Pimping.
it. Yeah. Listen, we like cold water here in Phoenix when it's 150 million degrees. So
Matt, do you use that telescope on the back to scope out
that was
deals
my
throughout the
second
valley?
gosh dang it.
Was
Bro,
it?
That's my second question. I was going to say, does he look at the stars or his neighbors? You know what I mean?
Bro, it's how I find my deals, dude. Come on.
There you go. See, I knew
No,
there was a
but-
secret strategy there.
Yeah.
So off of my office here, there's like a walk deck that I can go pace on because I'm like a border collie when I'm on the phone with people. So
Yeah,
I can
sure.
walk
Same.
down.
Yep.
For huge believer of motion creates emotion when you're talking to people.
Yep.
So my wife actually got that, and we'll take it out, and we'll, like, if you can see Venus or whatever that night, we'll set it up and we'll take a look at it.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Hey guys, reach out. The phone number's in the chat. If you're watching the replay, the HD replay, we'll make sure that we put them in the show notes or something. Matthew, thank you, brother. Great to have you on here. You're the
Always.
man. Have a great week.
Awesome.
You
Good
guys-
to see you, bro.
See ya. Awesome. I'm telling you, a really, really, really strong opportunity there
Yeah.
to learn from one of the best. Who's
Well,
done
it-
20,000 deals?
It showcases, right, when you go deep on your vertical, on your niche, like how dialed in you can get on stuff. And he hasn't changed the model, man. Like it's since they got started. I mean, that goes to show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Do it right. Do it for a long time.
Awesome. Well, the guys, that was our show. Listen, the 4 steps of the foreclosure process, just to go through them again. Did we take it off? Oh no, we took it off. All right. One is just missed payment. And then the second one is the notice. The third is the auction. And the fourth is when it becomes bank owned, REO. You got a 6-month window there to really, really help people before they lose their properties. Raphael suggests get to the door, go there, make contact with them. It's about 105 doors that you knock per deal, which is an absolutely phenomenal stat. And so there you go. There's no excuses not to go out there. He's got the script. Script is in there. Be human. Go in there with a lot of empathy, with a lot of with a big heart for service, for helping these people out of that situation, and you're going to win. All right. So let's bring everybody in. Come on. Come on.
Bam.
Here we go. Great show. Rafael Cortez, guys. That is Rafael Cortez, CEO. That's Luke. That's Alejandra. Matt is taking off the pictures there. We got Matt Hill doing a phenomenal job. Guys, we love you.
Keeps
Make sure that
crushing
you.
the background. So I'm gonna tell you.
I
that.
know. Isn't this cool? I feel like I'm on another planet. Listen, follow us wherever we're at. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to give you all the tools and resources and support that you need to be able to do that. If you are interested in coaching, Raphael,
REIWholesaling.com.
REI wholesaling.com, wholesalinginc.com. Check it out. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Boom.